The top 5 of the Premier League.
Plays a good ball in front of Beto. Great pass. Beto finishes, and Everton have the lead. What a good goal that was. This is Enjoy into the penalty area. That's it. Third goal for Everton. It's a blue day on Merseyside, and Everton are about to move up to 7th.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Call free 08085 909 693. Text 85058. Text will be charged at your standard message rates. Visit bbc.co.uk/5live terms for our terms of use and privacy notice.
Wow, Chris, what a result. I mean, a bad result for Chelsea, obviously. But as for Everton, they're just 3 points now behind Liverpool. Could they finish above them, do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're an Everton fan, you must be delighted the way this season has gone. But, yeah, I mean, why not? Everton, Champions League football beckons. And could you, unbelievably, finish ahead of Liverpool? Got to say, for Chelsea, though, Nat, you're a Chelsea fan. I think you're really worried with what you're seeing. Is that 4 defeats in all competitions, goalkeeping issues? Liam Rosenior, he said after they were pummeled by PSG in the Champions League that the players looked tired. We're all tired now. He's got to get on with it. But how do you feel about that humiliating defeat today, Chelsea fans?
Give us a ring, 08085 909 693. So, Chris, who else do you want to hear from tonight?
Well, I want to hear from Fulham fans. Is Marco Silva one of the most underrated managers in the Premier League? Well, I'll answer that. He is. And Burnley fans, Scott Parker, is he the man to get you back up next season? Huge day in the Championship. Promotion race now. Draws for Middlesbrough and Ipswich and Millwall. Well, Ipswich and Millwall drew with each other. Plus wins for Hull, Southampton and Wrexham means just 8 points separate 2nd and 7th place. Who is going up in League One? A win for my old club Lincoln City means they can be promoted next Friday if results go their way. Plus League Two leaders Bromley extended their unbeaten run to 21 games with a win against Colchester. Hearts and Rangers, it looks like Rangers have won today. Celtic play tomorrow playing catch-up. Let's hear from fans north of the border. And my old strike partner, Alan Shearer, I don't know whether you heard this today, says the standard of refereeing is the worst ever because of VAR. Is he right? And finally, Nat, the Premier League. I mean, you know, people bang on about it. Best league in the world, blah, 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 blah. But after 4 teams crashed out of the Champions League in midweek, is it really? I mean, La Liga schooled the Premier League. PSG pummeled Moneybags Chelsea. Is the Premier League really the best in the world?
What do you think, Chris?
Well, do you know what? 2 weeks ago it was, because 6 of the English teams qualified for the Champions League, and now it's not. I mean, which is it now? I don't think it is. I think there's a bit of arrogance there.
Chris, I want to get into this in the show because I still believe the Premier League is the best in the world, and also I've got a lot to say on that comment by Alan Shearer as well. But whoever your team is, you are here until 9 p.m. Give us a call, 08085 909 693. Before we get into all of that, Chris, hold on. There's been a goal at Rangers. Let's go to Kenny Crawford.
Yeah, it's certain now, Natalie. It's Rangers 4, Aberdeen 1, and it's former Don striker Bojan Majovski, the North Macedonian, who's thumped into the roof of the net from just a few yards out after good work down the left-hand side by Jayden Magoma. Rangers looking certain for a victory now. Rangers 4, Aberdeen 1.
Thank you very much there to Kenny Crawford. OK, we got our first call tonight, and of course it is a Chelsea fan. It's Stephen. Good evening, Stephen. What are you thinking? How are you feeling right now?
Radio, Nat, and Chris is bang on. So was Conor McNamara. The honeymoon period for Liam Rosenior is very, very much over. He's lost 2 Champions League games. He's lost against Newcastle, and tonight I didn't see it obviously on the TV. I'm just listening to on the radio. They sounded awful. Nevin said that they were threadbare and tired. I'm sorry, you can't be tired. You paid all this money. Just get on with it. And frankly, the worry now is with potential. They've got Port Vale next, then Man City, then Man United. They've got to pull themselves together if they want to get into Champions League, and they can't afford not to be in Champions League. Full stop.
And if Chelsea don't get in the Champions League, I mean, as a Chelsea fan, should Liam Rosenior be given the chance beyond the season, or is it really serious for him? Is that a sort of a big mark against him.
The track record, Chris, is not good. As in, they don't get much time. They talk about long-term projects and everything else, but look what's happened to Graham Potter. Look what's happened to Maresca. Look what's happened to a whole bunch of people. I mean, they should never have got rid of Tuchel after he won the Champions League. And if they'd stuck with him, he probably wouldn't have been England manager now. He'd still be at Chelsea. So they need to stick and have confidence. The issue with Rosenior is, the fair dues to him, he's young, he's pretty inexperienced. I like the way he talks and everything else, but he had a pretty nice start to his career in terms of the games that he had in front of him at Chelsea, and it's just now getting more difficult. So they've really somehow got to, they've got to get into Europe somehow. It needs to be Champions League. If it's not Champions League, then I guess it's back to the Europa League.
And do you think they should ditch the huddle now, Chelsea? Because it's clearly not working, is it?
No, the huddle's fine. There's a much ado about nothing. They should just let them get on with it. People do it in rugby, they do it in football. Just let them get on with this. Why they got into a great big subject about that, it was only because the referee was in the middle.
Oh, I don't know about that, Stephen. I think, if you are standing in the centre circle when it's somebody else's kick-off, you're delaying the start of the game or you're antagonising the other team. So I don't agree with that. But thank you so much there to Stephen, the Chelsea fan. We've got loads of calls coming in, Chris, as I expected, given some of those big results today. It's 08085 909 693. If you want to call whoever you support, you're very welcome. So let's go now to a Liverpool fan. Adil, good evening. What happened today?
Hi there, how are you doing? Well, it was a poor performance, particularly second half, but I can't believe Chris isn't recognising that the scheduling has had an impact on that team. I mean,
what do you mean?
If you look at the Liverpool side and the number of players who played Sunday night, Wednesday night, and then play on a Saturday lunchtime, I've got sympathy for the players who did that today, but it's all about a wider problem at the club, which is the squad construction. If you look at that side today, we don't have any ball winners in midfield, and we haven't had any ball winners in midfield for like 3 years now. And they haven't addressed getting a proper six for 6 transfer windows. We've got nobody to kind of earn us the right to play. And if you look at all the great Liverpool sides, and I've supported Liverpool for over 50 years, you look at all the great Liverpool sides, they all had people who could win the ball, had some bite in midfield, and could, give you, earn you the right to play. And this Liverpool side has just got 8s and 10s in midfield. There's no proper 6 in the side. And until they address that, they're going to have problems.
Well, hang on a minute. So Gravenberch, who started today.
He's not.
Hang on a minute. He was getting rave reviews last season for the way. I mean,
they weren't. He's not a 6. I mean, he is not a ball-winning 6. If you watch him play,
well, he was ball-winning last season, and so was McAllister last season.
Yeah, but neither player is a ball winner. Neither player is somebody who kind of picks up second balls in midfield. We have nobody who does that in the side. And
so is it the scheduling, or is it because you don't have a number 6 then? Because you mentioned the scheduling.
What I'm saying is the performance today had a lot to do with absentees and scheduling. Yeah.
Curtis Jones on the bench, Andy Robertson on the bench, Joe Gomez on the bench, Chiesa on the bench.
Apparently Joe Gomez wasn't fully fit.
Gamoa on the bench. Really?
The scheduling's interesting though, Chris, because you mentioned La Liga before. La Liga work with their teams so that they can make the fixtures as easy as possible for them before a Champions League game.
Come on, let's hang on a minute.
I'm not saying that's the full reason.
The richest league in the world, 22-9, and all this scheduling nonsense. Premier League sides have the greatest cash to spend on their squads. Don't hit us with.
No one's disputing that, but you can't tell me that if you ask a player to play 3 games in 7 days at very high intensity, there's not going to be a drop-off by the time they get to the 3rd game. And what you saw today, second half, Liverpool had no legs. And right. Brian are an incredibly high-intensity team who will run all day, and they were the worst thing we could have had second half today in terms of the way they play, because we just didn't have the legs.
Well, what about freshening things up then? What about Curtis Jones?
The fitness regime at Liverpool, because for some reason our fitness levels this season have been absolutely shocking. I mean, the running stats, They're just not good enough. And as I said, I think the biggest issue is we don't have anybody to win the ball in midfield. We don't have anybody we do have no ball winners.
Adil, thank you so much. Adil's a Liverpool fan. Liverpool fans, what do you think? Give us a call, 08085 909 693. I'm not saying the scheduling is the problem, Chris. I'm just saying if you're having a discussion about why it's happened, why so many English teams got knocked out, I think it's worth discussing the scheduling in that.
Nah, don't make excuses because your team got pummeled. Manchester City by Real Madrid. You actually did all right with 10 men. But do you know what aggravates me a little bit is when when the six Premier League sides got through, everyone saying that's the best league in the world, and within 2 weeks the Premier League sides go out and humiliated by La Liga sides and PSG, and that can happen. And now it's the worst league. Is it somewhere sort of in between now?
But so are you saying La Liga is the best league in the world?
Well, I'm saying based on the results this week, if we're going to look short term, I mean 22-9. I mean that's an absolute schooling, isn't it?
How do you feel about the standard of La Liga as a full league?
But what does that mean?
Okay, hold those thoughts, Chris, because we're going to go back over to Rangers. Since we last went to Kenny Crawford, a goal was disallowed and then another goal's been scored. So update us, Kenny.
Yeah, so the full-time score, Natalie, is Rangers 4, Aberdeen 1. Danny Röhl's men reducing the gap between them and leaders' Hearts back to 3 points and leapfrogging Celtic into second for the time being. Chikuane, Moore and Raskin with the first 3 Rangers goals. Then Majowski's late fourth goal, which we spoke about a few minutes ago, was disallowed for a handball that VAR spotted. But after that, James Tavernier scored a wonderful free kick in off the underside of the bar. His 144th goal for Rangers in his 12-year Rangers career. Dennis Geiger scored the consolation for the Dons, their first away goal since December. Aberdeen in a perilous position in 9th. At the top of the table, it's Hearts on 66, Rangers on 63, Celtic on 61, but play Dundee United tomorrow. Rangers 4, Aberdeen 1.
Thank you very much there to Kenny Crawford. So next up, we've got a Chelsea fan. Do keep your calls coming in. Whoever you support, you're very, very welcome. 08085 909 693. Good evening to Patrick, the Chelsea fan. Patrick, what just happened?
I couldn't even explain it. Couldn't even talk about it. Just a wretched night. Wretched night.
What are you putting it down to, Patrick?
Everything. The team, the structure, the manager writing on his notepad again, telling, you're bringing off Malo Gusto, a right back, and you're bringing on Garnacho, who's the left back. You're bringing on defenders when you're 2-0 down, 3-0 down. You should be bringing on attackers. When Liam Rosenior, when we were 2-0 down to West Ham that one time, we managed to put on the subs and they impacted. We won 3-2. And since then, it's been horrible. That's our 3rd defeat in a row.
Fourth, I think.
Fourth defeat. Yeah. Fourth defeat in a row. PSG, which we were in for a good 20 minutes left. Newcastle, which we couldn't even give it. It felt like we didn't care. PSG again, which was a bad performance. As soon as you concede within 7 minutes, that was it, tie over. Newcastle, and 20 million quid was the difference between Mike Mannion starting in goal today and Robert Sanchez, who continues to be a clown in goal with Jorgensen. I don't get why we didn't fork out 20 million quid before the Club World Cup on Mike Mannion. It doesn't rack my brain.
I mean, if you had an order of or a list of who is to blame for all this, who would be top of the list?
Bluco,
Patrick.
Bluco, Egbal Egbayi, Paul Winstanley, Lawrence Stewart.
Why?
All those 3, because 2022, Todd Bowley says we want to win 100%. We're all in. We want to win. So when we brought in Raheem Sterling, the likes of bearing in mind, I'm trying to talk about 2022. We bring in Raheem Sterling, a proven Premier League player. We bring in the likes of Kukureya, Fofana, all these players. Since Winstanley and Stewart came in, we brought in 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds, 19-year-olds, spending £2 billion worth of players. sacking managers here and there. Tuchel, the best manager that we could have had. You then bring in Graham Potter, terrible. You then bring in Pochettino. He gets us Europe, but it wasn't good enough. You then bring in Enzo Maresca, who all he wanted was a new goalkeeper, a new defender, and a new midfielder. Couldn't get it. He gets sacked, even though we were 4th in January. And now you've got Liam Rosenior, who, he's had a bit of a good honeymoon period, but has been not there. The performance ain't been off. And if he does get sacked, I will not be surprised if Blueco brings in Gary O'Neill from Strasbourg, considering the relationship we have and considering Chelsea own Strasbourg.
I mean, that's. You mentioned Liam Rosenior writing on his notepad earlier. That was a criticism.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's acting like Eminem. Stan. It's Stan settings. Eminem. That's what he's doing. He's writing on his notepad, going up to Tozin, telling him, you're going to have to fill in the void, do something. How can we do something if we're 2-0 down? Esteval looked like our best player there.
You can have a go at him for some things, but surely you can't ever go at him for writing on a notepad.
I think a notepad's better than a whiteboard.
He writes on a notepad every time. If you want to convey something, tell it at half time. Tell it at start. Tell it at the start of the match.
I think I saw this in the week that he said that sometimes players can't hear because of the noise within the stadium, so it's safer to send a note on.
He's talking waffle.
Chris, could you hear when a stadium was packed and full and cheering? Did you ever need a note?
Yeah, no, because I knew what I was doing, Nat. I mean, obviously the Chelsea players don't know what they're doing.
Okay.
Nat. So
he's talking waffle.
So Patrick, so Liam Rosenior, how do you see this going? Do you see it going beyond the end of the season?
Well, we've got 2 weeks for him to sort it out. Some players may be on the planes to international teams, some players will not, so maybe he gets 2 weeks to try and bring it ideologically into the team. But if we don't get Champions League football, I will not be surprised if he gets sacked. I will not be surprised if Gary O'Neill from Strasbourg comes into Chelsea and Paul Winstanley and Stewart say he's the best young manager that we could bring into the club, and together we will build a team that will be competing on all fronts.
Patrick,
I will not be surprised.
Patrick, you're better than that. Come on.
Thank you very much there to Patrick, the Chelsea fan. Keep getting
Gary
your calls in.
O'Neill, the next Chelsea manager.
Honestly, with Chelsea, did you react the same when Liam Rosenior's name was getting kicked around?
But come on, are you seriously telling me that Gary O'Neill is in contention to be the next Chelsea manager?
Honestly, Chris, with Chelsea, I would not be shocked by pretty much any name, and I think that's more a reflection on Chelsea and not on Gary O'Neill. But thank you very much there to Patrick. It's 08085 909 693.
Thanks, Patrick.
Give us a call, whoever you support. Now, looking forward to this one. I think somebody's on my side here, Chris. We've got Sarge on the line now. And I believe that, Sarge, you want me to phone a taxi for Chris Sutton?
100%.
Tell us why.
I like Chris. I do like Chris. Good footballer. And he was a very good... I was a big admirer of Chris Sutton, even though he's still a moaning git. But I do like Chris. He does have some fair points. But to say that the Premier League is not the best league in the world, I don't know. I think I remember, I'm severely impaired blind, so I can't actually watch the games anymore. But I follow Chris and my good friend, Mr. Savage. I think there was a debate a few weeks ago, or a few months ago, where Chris, Robbie came and said that the Premier League was not the best, and Chris was very, very vocal. And he did say, no, that's not correct. The Premier League is the best. I'll give you an example. I mean, I'm a United fan, not getting too carried away or anything like that. But Chris was quite critical, but now suddenly he's changed his mind. But the Premier League is the best league in the world. Today's results on its own just shows that it's the most unpredictable league and it's the best league in the world. Yes, I do get the Europe side. I do agree with that. I do agree with Chris on that side. I do. Right. But if you look at the history so far, this last few years, English teams have done really, really well. And I think sometimes...
Who won, Sarge? Who won the Champions League last season?
Who won the Champions League last season?
I mean, it was PSG, Chris, but you're not going to say that
who
France has got the best league in the world, are you?
Who won it the season before? Real Madrid.
Can't remember, Chris.
It's three. England have won it 3 out of the last 7, Chris. 3 out of the last 7.
And then look beyond that. Now,
But it's
come
not
on.
about Europe, though, is it? It's the Premier League. It's two different leagues.
But when is that's just nonsense, though, isn't it? Because when the Spanish teams are schooling the Premier League teams, you're saying, "Oh, the strength and depth is there," but is it not about?
Chris,
is it not about the quality? Come on.
You've got 3 Spanish teams. You've also got 2 Spanish teams that went out before
But what's
this
the
round.
point of having this? It's a really stupid argument to have after you've been absolutely schooled in the week. Premier League teams to say, "Oh, it's the best league in the world."
It's extremely reactive.
I want to stick with Natalie on this one. I think your comments are not reasonable. I think at the end of the day, as I said, in Europe, you are allowed to have off days, unfortunately, and that's part and parcel of the Champions League. Anyway, we agree to disagree on that. But my other point is, I'm a big listener, big fan of listening to you guys, and I've been listening to the moaning Chelsea fans, especially the last one. For goodness sake, the guy's a manager. He can take whether he takes notes or he doesn't take notes. What's that got to do with it? At the end of the day, that's just the way he is. And that's for Liverpool fans disrespecting Arne Slot after winning the league last season. I think people forget that sometimes you've got to be careful what you wish for. And I think at the moment there's nobody else out there who can take Arne Slot's job the way he's done it. Yes, they've had a bad season. Yes, they've had a bad time. I mean, I'm not complaining because I'm a United fan. But I think the other thing people need to understand is the other impact people have forgotten is the Diego Jota situation. I know he's passed away. Life goes on, etc., etc. But I think mentally, it has an impact on people, especially it's like anybody at work. For example, at work, if one of your colleagues dies basically deceased, it has a major impact. And it's easy saying that you've got to get on with it, but it's the mental side of it that takes it. It's no excuse. They're professionals, but I think that's had a major part as well. But the biggest problem I think with Liverpool fans is I think they don't understand and they don't appreciate what they've basically got. Liam Rosenior, I personally think it's going to be a taxi. He's definitely going to get a taxi. They should have never ever appointed him. Chelsea needs someone stronger. Tuchel should have never been sacked.
Sarge, thank you so much for the call.
I'm just writing down on my notepad. Sarge is wrong about the Premier League being the strongest in the world, and so is Nat.
Are you going to pass that note to anybody?
I'm just keeping that in my record, just as Liam Rosenior keeps.
I'm going to write on my notepad, a Man United fan just told Liverpool fans off. We're going to go over now. Rob Schofield is live with David Moyes.
Thank you, Natalie. David, on the pitch, in the stands, what a special night. What pleased you most about it?
I think the whole night, really, from the first minute. The crowd were magnificent. It was Goodison of old, really, in many ways. And in some ways, it was a performance of old, the sort of performances which certainly I hope I was used to a little bit when I was here before. But we were after it right from minute one. And you can't take it away. Chelsea have got incredible quality in their side and probably coming here hurting a little bit, so we knew we were going to be up against it. We were, but we scored some really good goals tonight, and our goalkeeper made a couple of really, really top saves.
Your work rate was absolutely outstanding today, and I don't mean any disrespect to Chelsea here, but did you feel that they were somewhat here for the taking tonight?
No, I didn't come into the game thinking that at all. I thought they might come in hurting, but I do know what it feels like to have big games in midweek and then have to go again on the Saturday. We've got a week to prepare. They've not. They've had a big game against Paris Saint-Germain in midweek, and now have to find themselves coming up here and get ready for this. But I don't think take nothing away from how we played tonight. We were the better team. We were intense. We scored a couple of really good goals. But we needed our players to be in top form tonight, and they were in top form. All of them were stars tonight. They really were. They played so well.
Jordan Pickford seems to be pulling out worldies every week, but I just wanted to ask you particularly about Beto and how his confidence is and how much he's benefiting from this run of starts 4 in a row, I think.
Well, I think he's earned it a little bit from his work, which I always said. He never complains. He gets his head down. He's an incredibly humble boy. He's last off the training ground just about every day. He wants more. He wants people to try and improve him. And I think when you've got players like that, you've always got a little bit of a chance. Sometimes, when you work that hard, you get a bit of luck. Things go for you. And he's making his own luck, and he's making his good fortune because he's working so hard for it.
You moved 2 points behind Chelsea with that win, and I was reading a bit of your programme notes talking about ambition. Are you really going to zero in on that off the back of the international break, aim for those European places and really commit to that?
I've probably been aiming since the first game when we've started myself in my own ambition, but I did tell the players that as well, that I thought that we would have to try and do that now. Many would have said you're dreaming. And we maybe still are. I think for us to finish in the top half of the league would be a really big achievement, considering, probably even the levels we've spent compared to others, and we've only really had, I'm calling it one summer window, that's for sure. But overall, look, the players are doing a brilliant job. They're the ones, they're doing an incredible job, whether it be defensively. We've been fighting a wee bit to score goals, but tonight to score 3 against Chelsea was really big, and especially in front of the crowd tonight, who I have to say were incredible in here.
David, thank you.
Cheers. Beto, we'll get a headline.
Thank you very much there to Rob Schofield.
Showing
speaking
Liverpool
to David
up, aren't
Moyes.
they?
I like David Moyes, Chris.
Yeah,
I like him.
He's a brilliant talker. I mean, if Everton, I know Beto got a couple of goals today, but you think this season that's been their Achilles heel, that centre forward position, Tiano Barry and Beto. I mean, had they had a proper centre forward this season, I mean, they may already sort of be in the top 5. That's what I would say, and they are embarrassing Liverpool with every passing week.
Do you think they can get a European spot?
Yeah, I do. Well, you tell me why they can't, Nat.
No, yeah, I completely agree. When you're looking at the table now as well, and if England does get that 5th Champions League spot, which looks like
they deserve it?
They will.
Do they deserve that? The English Premier League after that?
The coefficient says they do.
Oh.
Then Everton will be primed to get something, which I think is incredible. Can they finish above Liverpool though?
Well, of course they can. What, they 3 points behind? The wheels are off, or seem to be off, at Liverpool in some respects. Let's hear from Everton fans.
And there's a Merseyside derby coming up as well, I'm sure there is. I don't know if I've made that up, I need to check. Give us a ring anyway, Everton fans, Liverpool fans, we want to hear from you. Who's going to finish higher in the league? What a conversation. 08085 909 693. And of course, whoever you support, you know that I always love to speak to fans of the teams in the EFL as well, and also non-league teams. Whoever you support, we want to speak to you.
Who's your favourite EFL team?
I don't have a favourite EFL team.
You must have a favourite few.
I don't. You know what? You know how I love the non-league, though. You know I love that. So I'd love to speak to National League team fans. Give us a ring as well. Whoever you support, 08085 909 693. We'll be taking as many of your calls as we can after the news on 5 Live with James Wickham.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thank you, Natalie. Good evening. The Foreign Secretary, Yvette Cooper, says the UK will continue to support defensive action against what she called reckless Iranian threats. But she said the UK won't be drawn into a wider conflict, despite Iran firing 2 ballistic missiles at a British-American base in the Indian Ocean. Ministers have announced an expansion of US use of British bases. Opposition parties say that will take the UK closer to the war. Our political correspondent is Damien Grammaticus.
The Green Party called that a worrying escalation. The Liberal Democrats said that we were being drawn down Trump's slippery slope. They both want a parliamentary vote on the use of bases. The Conservative leader, Kemi Badenoch, she said that we are being drawn into this, like it or not.
Nearly 1,500 UK mortgage products have been withdrawn since the start of the war. Figures shared with Radio 4's Money Box reveal that this accounts for roughly a fifth of the UK market. Sir Keir Starmer will hold an emergency meeting next week with senior ministers and the Governor of the Bank of England to discuss how to deal with the effects of the war on the UK economy. Robert Mueller, who led the investigation into whether Russia interfered in the 2016 US presidential election won by Donald Trump, has died. He was 81 and had been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. He'd previously been the head of the FBI for 12 years. There are growing calls for Sarah Ferguson, the former Duchess of York, to provide evidence about her knowledge of the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Politicians in America have also continued to press her ex-husband, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, to respond to questions about his association with the late financier. The lawyer Gloria Allred has represented many of Epstein's victims.
I think she has valuable information to provide. What did he say to her? What did she say to him? What did she know? Should she have known about why he was required to register as a sexual offender, essentially a sexual predator?
And BTS have made their comeback at a concert in the South Korean capital, Seoul. The 7 K-pop megastars were performing together for the first time in nearly 4 years after completing military service.
A group of men ran in with machetes. I'm Livy Haydock, and from BBC Sounds and BBC Radio 5 Live, this is Gangster, the story of George.
Of having a bet on the match, whether you're interested in
from corners, not set pieces necessarily. Brentford, that's ranking 19th. Deliveries in towards the far post. Might have been Collins who actually headed it wide. It's kept alive though by Brentford, but that's a good towering header from Ampadu, clearing his lines. Ball slipped down the channel. Nobody made the run. Sharda will go after it, and it's a double ricochet, so Justin needs to deal with it, and he does. Out of play for a throw in. Coda, though, we know has a long throw on him. That's certainly an option that he could be willing to deploy straight away with his first opportunity. 3.5 minutes on the clock, 0-0. Neither keeper has been needed to be called into action, but a positive start from the visitors. Long throw coming up. This one is a bit more loopy than perhaps what we're used to. Headed away by Leeds, back in, headed away once more. Beale winning a couple of headers. It's still with Brentford possession on the left-hand side. Lewis Potter under pressure from Bogle. Still has it, but he's facing the halfway line. Lays it back to Henderson. He's got to put a diagonal into the box. Might have been a little push in the back, and I think the assistant referee spotted it. Nathan Collins. It is. He's not really going for the ball, playing the man in the back, just to make sure he couldn't backpedal. And it's a free kick to Leeds inside their own box. Into the 5th minute. Positive start from Brentford, in the sense getting bodies forward, trying to put a bit of pressure on. Quite direct so far. Justin's won a throw in off Coyote. Looked as though he was telegraphing his intentions down the line, and Coyote just blocked it into touch. Throw in taken. Ampadu's under a bit of pressure. Dispossessed by Thiago. Brentford have won it back. Sharda, Henderson. Good recovery from Ampadu, and in fact he's got the throw in as well. It deflected back off Henderson, or at least brushed his leg. Henderson doesn't like the decision, but throwing given to the home side. Just going into the 6th minute. 0-0, positive start as mentioned from Brentford, but so early in the exchanges. Played forward to Bogle. Loose pass from him. Brentford come forward again. But that's not well controlled by Jensen. First touch wasn't good enough. Horrid second touch. Wasn't a good pass in the direction of Yarmluk. Leeds have it. Going long up towards Calvert-Lewin. Eased off the ball by Vandenberg. Brentford work it to Sharda. And then it's played hopefully down the channel. Thiago had to follow the defence, and it's way overhit once again. Darlow comes out of his area to make sure Leeds can get the ball moving. Haven't really managed to string too much in the Brentford half yet, and it's arrowed down the right hand side towards Bogle, but Lewis Potter just ducks underneath it, into touch, throwing to Brentford inside their own half, of course, and they go long and early towards Thiago, beaten to it by Strout. There's a coming together. Strout's on the floor. He wants a decision. It's difficult. His expression suggests he hasn't got the decision. This is going to be a corner to Brentford. Jared Gillett, the referee this evening. Yeah, it didn't look much of a challenge, to be fair. It was an awkward bouncing ball. He's trying to play it back to Darlow, but he's got it all wrong. And he was just hoping that the referee spotted a nudge in his back. Another corner to Brentford. Just about 7 minutes gone at Elland Road. Independent, unofficial off-tube studio commentary. Brentford started the brighter of the two sides, but still inside 7 minutes. Small sample size of the game thus far. Plenty of jostling in and around the keeper. It could always lead to free kicks. Ball in. It's only partially cleared, but then getting to the second loose ball. Anton Stack manages to poke it away into touch. It will just be a throw-in. Yeah, the first header wasn't quite controlled. Defensively, that is. Nearly fell for Lewis Potter, far stick, but Stack reacted quick enough, and it's just going to be the long throw chance for the Bees. Cody. This one looks a flatter, quicker delivery in towards the near post, flicked on but away by Bogle at the far stick. Now Aronson is bringing it clear for the Whites. He doesn't have much support, and it's a good challenge on the halfway line from Jensen. In fact, it's Yarmoliuk getting across. Aronson didn't have any support. He was trying to win something for his side. Happened to be a throw-in. Quick counter there. Aronson showing plenty of pace, but zero support. Difficult. Long throw aimed towards Namachi. Tried to flick on, didn't get much contact. Cleared away. Thiago and Strout come together again. Strout ends up on the deck. Ball's going to bounce through to Darlow anyway. Leeds have possession, but it is going to be pulled back for the the free kick in the centre circle. Already taken. Strout brings it clear for the Whites out to the left-hand side. Found Justin. Cross in, headed away near post. Vandenberg further away by Jensen, bringing it up towards the halfway line. They are under pressure. Jensen, he wants a foul and he's going to get it. Stack believed to be a little bit too physical in his back. Free kick to the Bees inside their own half. A little bit silly from Stack. It's not much of a foul, but it's certainly not shoulder to shoulder, that is for sure. Collins drills it up to the left-hand side, just about kept in. And now Lewis Potter looks for a diagonal out towards Cody. That looks as though he's got too much on it. Thumbs up from Cody, but it just curled away from his run there and was always going to go behind in the end. Goal kick taken short, so Rodon goes long towards Calvert-Lewin. Ian Lewis Potter don't make contact with the ball. Bogle has it, and he's there's a slip. Chance. Bogle into the box under a little bit of pressure, goes tumbling to the ground. Told to get up by Lewis Potter, but more importantly, Jared Gillett doesn't give a penalty. The clearance isn't good. It's picked up by Calvert-Lewin, who works it over to Ampadu on the right touchline, swings it in. Vandenberg heads to the edge of the box, only to Justin just outside. Struijk is available behind. Leeds have it back on the halfway line now with Biol. Back to Strout, halfway inside the Brentford half. Justin, one-on-one with Cody, trying to go around the outside. Cross, blocked, behind. Corner kick to Leeds into the 11th minute. And a set piece for the Whites to work with. I mean, I wouldn't say under the cosh, but they've been on the back foot in the opening 10 minutes. Now a chance to turn it the other way. Of course, Bogle went down and run into the box. Don't think VAR is ever going to give that as a penalty. You never quite know these days. But Lewis Potter doing just about enough. At the moment, he's marking Joe Rodon. That could be an advantage for Leeds from this set piece. Stack with a delivery on the Leeds left. In towards the central area, headed to the edge of the box. And then Yarmoliuk's gone down. It might be Aronson who's penalised. I think it's a clash of heads as much as anything. Jared Gillett is shaking his head. I think largely because Brentford want a little bit more action taken. Aronson can't believe it's a free kick, but you can never quite be too sure. Looking at a replay, it might not be a clash of heads as such, bit of whiplash. He's trying to backheader it away, and then Aronson just jumps into his back. It looks as though he's legitimately going for the ball. Obviously Brentford are arguing plenty. I don't know what they're expecting. But obviously safety first for B's player. Sharda's just getting some instructions from Keith Andrews. Obviously there's a little stoppage in play at the moment, just to make sure Jensen's all right. Daniel Farke, he's just put his hands out. I think he's frustrated that the restart hasn't taken effect yet. Remains 0-0. 12 minutes ticked over. Jensen on the touchline, ready to come back on. Leeds are in possession, so it wasn't a foul. It's a drop ball in the centre circle. Ampadu back to be on. Leeds start again. Strout down the channel. Stack in the box, back to goal, feeds it out to the left-hand side. Justin's going to swing it in, right-footed, volleyed away by Lewis Potter, who's just over Calvert-Lewin's head. Work back out to Bogle. Leeds on the offensive now with a bit of concerted pressure. Cross in from Rodon. There's a slip from Justin. He realised the cross was a little bit too deep. Tried to start backpedaling but lost his foot in. Strout can't keep it in. It's behind for a goal kick to Brentford. Jensen's invited back onto the field of play. So a full complement for both sides. 0-0 in the early exchanges, but just the latter few minutes, Leeds have just had a little bit of possession in dangerous areas as well. They've had a lot of possession over the course of 13 minutes, but a lot of it's been in their own half. Now they're starting to ask one or two questions. No shots in the game as yet. So far, Brentford might think they started a little bit brighter, but as I say, Leeds just starting to get a grip of the ball. As Strauch has it halfway inside his own half. Amperdou's come deep. Is able to turn. Goes long through the middle. And Bogle's found a little bit of space. Tries to get round Lewis Potter. There's a challenge coming in from Vandenberg. And his clearance was half blocked by Bogle. It took all the pace off it. Dribbles through to Kelleher. That wasn't overly convincing necessarily from Lewis Potter. And Bogle's marauding runs down the right-hand side, already reaping rewards to a degree. Rodon's clearance is charged behind by Jensen. Goal kick to Leeds. Obviously, Bogle had the penalty claim. It's never going to get given. But another run into the box between them. Lewis Potter and Vandenberg doing just about enough. In fact, that was Pinnock. I beg his pardon. Pinnock getting the challenge in. As I say, the ricochet could have gone anywhere because it was an attempted clearance that hit Bogle and dribbled back to Kelleher. Leeds have it in the centre circle with Amperdou. Worked over to the left-hand side. Justin halfway inside the Brentford half, but forced back to the halfway line. Strout. Not a brilliant pass to Beale, so he's going to go all the way back to Darlow in his D. Waits to be closed down at the moment. He's not being closed down. Feeds it over to the left-hand side. Stack plays it forward. Pinnock beats Calvert-Lewin in the air. Jensen has got his header wrong. That's allowed Amperdou to pick it up. Leeds back in possession. And it's worked from left to right. Joe Rodon approaching the halfway line. Finds Bogle. Back to Rodon. Beale behind. Jensen, the more advanced of the midfielders. Yarmulke play alongside Henderson. Ball out to the left-hand side. Stack had made the run, but it's too close to touch. Throw in Brentford with just about 16 minutes gone at Elland Road. Independent artificial off-tube studio commentary. And Leeds dominating possession, but we still haven't had a shot yet. Lovely turn from Jensen to get away from Rodon, but then he checks back into his own half. Good feet from Lewis Potter. Sets Thiago away down the left-hand side. Early cross towards Sharda, and it's cleared away by Justin at the far post before Cody could get there. Sharda the target. Jensen plays it off the legs of Rodon. That'll be a throw-in to Brentford. Maybe halfway inside at the Leeds half. Good footwork from Lewis Potter. And Thiago this time peeled away to the left-hand side. Sharda's being occupied in the middle by Strauch. And I guess Justin's half covering both Sharda and Coyote behind him. Just making sure there was no chance of getting onto it, but Strauch dealt with it anyway. Horrid clearance from Rodon. So it's a throw-in to Brentford again. Maybe 20 yards from the corner flag left-hand side. Still 0-0. The game's still waiting the first shot. Possession-wise, though, 62% in Leeds' favour. A lot of it has been in their own half, though. Brentford have got a chance from a throw-in set piece right now, and Cody is going to launch it in. Obviously from the left-hand side rather than the right. And the delivery is in towards the near post. Flicked on, but it's into the welcome arms of Darlow. Difficult to score with a flick header. I mean, the goal is almost directly behind him. He just helped it on, and it was a very comfortable save in the end. First attempt of the contest. Vandenberg it was with the flick on. Leeds straight back on the attack. Good switch of play from left to right, but now it's going back again to the left-hand side. And he's one-on-one with Coyote at the moment. Doesn't take him on this time. Ball into the box. Calvert-Lewin outnumbered, can't control. But it's brought forward by Stack. Bogle on the right hand side, cross, deflected up in the air. Oh, and Gallagher's beaten to the ball. The ball's going across the 6-yard box. It won't fall for a Leeds player. Eventually it does, but it's now out on the left touchline by Justin, who swings it in towards the near post, and it's flicked on by Brentford again. But this time, Jensen towards the far stick, near the penalty spot. It was closest to him, and he just helps it away into touch. Throw into Leeds. Maybe 20 yards from the corner flag, right-hand side. Yeah, Calvert-Lewin jumping high enough to beat Kelleher. If Kelleher's going to come for the ball off his line, he's got to get there. Long throw for Leeds. Ampadu. Header won, though, by Thiago. Shot comes in from Justin. It's a miss hit, half blocked, and then Coyote brings it down. He's trying to run it out of his area. He's dispossessed. Leeds have it back. Stack plays it into the box, but a little bit too straight. Aronson was peeling away to the right channel, and that's going to go behind for a goal kick to Brentford. Yeah, a little bit of panic in the Brentford box. I guess there always is if a keeper goes to punch a ball and doesn't win it. That's a good defensive header from Coyote. A couple of yards off his goal line. If he doesn't get there, the match might have had a tap in. Ball forward at the other end. Thiago tries to turn his man. It's a real sort of horrible sort of attempted control in a crowd. Gets a snapshot off, drags it wide of the post. Well wide. Darlow didn't look too bothered at all. Yeah, Beale jumped, didn't get the ball, and then there's sort of legs kicking out at the ball. Eventually Thiago got a shot off, but not on target. Not easy to score in a crowd of players. Not easy to hit the target. 20 yards out. Leeds back on the front foot, although that's a miscontrol from Calvert-Lewin. Pumped away by Vandenberg. Thiago gives chase. He's beaten Strout to the ball. Gets to the byline. Pulls it back to no one. He needed to hold on to it. Headed away by Beale. Cleared further downfield, but won by the Bees on the halfway line. Henderson tries to set Lewis Potter away. Bogle's covered the run. Hooks it over his shoulder. There's a push in the back. Sharda on Beale. That's silly from Sharda. And it will be a free kick to Leeds. Just outside their own box. Silly in the sense that it's difficult for Beale to bring it, to get much power on it to clear his lines. And obviously the contact is just cheap free kick. Rodon from the short free kick back to Beale. Now Darlow into the 22nd minute. 0-0. We're just starting to see a couple of chances develop. Ampadu back to Darlow. Henderson was trying to close him down. Now with Strauch, he's closed down too. Blocked up in the air. Stack heads into touch. Throw in Brentford. Cody. This time nearer the halfway line. Maybe halfway inside the Leeds half. 0-0. 22 minutes ticking over. Brentford have gone backwards in possession. They do have it. It's with Collins. Lewis Potter. Jensen. Lewis Potter just inside his own half. Plays it into Aronson. Into touch. Throwing Brentford on their left. Emecha is the man that the cameras are focusing on. hasn't got as involved as Leeds might want him to. That's not a good ball back from Lewis Potter. Collins has to go sprinting into his own box. He does get there ahead of Calvert-Lewin. Kelleher's there. Infield to Yarmouth. Cody on the right. Down to Yarmouth on the touchline. Well, I was going to say fancy footwork. He did actually drag the ball into touch, Yarmouth. But the referees decided that Coyote was fouled. So it's a free kick to Brentford. Yeah, Justin's arms came across. It's difficult to call it a push, but they certainly tried to block off the run. Coyote didn't need a second invitation. Into the 24th minute, 0-0. I think in the early exchanges, Brentford have looked a fraction more dangerous. Having said that, when Leeds have got the ball in and around the box, I wouldn't say it's panic, but looks a little bit rattled, particularly with crosses in from wide positions. Thiago's just caught Strout, so it's a free kick. Leeds inside their own half, which they've already taken. Rode on time and space, goes long, way over the head of Calvert-Lewin's head, cleared by Pinnock up to the halfway line, flicked on by Schade, picked up by Jensen under pressure from Roden, right on the touchline. He can't keep it in, throw in Leeds. 60-40 possession stats, couple of shots apiece. One on target each. No big chances as yet. Rodon with the throw-in on the halfway line. Goes down the line, headed away by Lewis Potter. Jensen just hooks it forward, but straight to Strout. And Leeds have possession back. Beale into the centre circle, feeding it over to the left-hand side, and Strout floats it down the channel for Stack, who's got in the box, gets a flick on. Bogle's in a very central position, lays it back to Justin, he goes for goal. Can't keep it down, way over the bar. And he's got a semi-smile on his face. Perhaps knew there were options there. Bogle again, just running his energy. It will attract defenders. Calvert-Lewin was at the far post against Lewis Potter. Not necessarily easy to pick him out, particularly inside the box. Thiago brings it down under a little bit of pressure. Excellent control from him. Ball played by Lewis Potter towards Schade. But Strout's covered the run, shepherds it behind. Goal kick to Leeds. Into the 26th minute, 0-0 at Elland Road. Independent unofficial off-tube stereo commentary. And fairly even Stevens in the game so far. Neither keeper's necessarily been called into too much action. Brentford might be happy as the away side with how they've started it, but 0-0 can take nothing for granted. Leeds have certainly showed their threat, particularly Bogle. I think he's made an excellent start to the contest. It's not always on the right flank. And obviously Justin's getting into the box as well. Cody again tried to run his way out of trouble. He has to win the ball back. Yarmouth then plays it off Stack into touch, throw into Brentford inside their own half. 26 minutes ticks over, 0-0 at Elland Road. Collins approaching the halfway line, left channel, and there's Green ahead of him. He's still going. Feeds it out to Lewis Potter on the left touchline. Heavy first touch. Henderson in support though. Now he's one-on-one with Bogle. Lewis Potter, that is, onto his right foot. Thought about a cross, doesn't. Offloads to Henderson, going away from goal now. Brentford, fed to Van den Berg in the centre circle. Pinnock. Henderson takes it off Pinnock, but again it's a bit of hesitancy in possession. They were quite direct and quickly direct in the early stages, but trying to be a little bit more patient. Leeds are covering the angles, and the ball is at the feet of Kelleher. So 0-0 with Kelleher waiting to be closed down by Calvert-Lewin. Now he goes long. Thiago wins another header. And he's found Schade as well. He's able to bring it down. Not so many red and white shirts in the Leeds half, but Schade is still going. Coyote on the right touchline. 4 in the box if he can dig out a cross. It's towards the far post, and Thiago jumping into Darlow. Might have been penalised. Darlow got his hands on it, dropped it, but caught it on his way down. So he's got the ball in his hands. maybe that would have been given as a foul. I don't know. But he has the ball in his possession. So, might have got away with that one. Brentford winning back near the halfway line. Yarmulke's trying to bring it forward. The offload is under hit. In steps Stack. Now Nemec tries to go around first man. Can't, but he wins a throw in. 10 or 15 yards inside the Brentford half. Left hand side, 0-0. And what has been relatively even Stevens leads on top possession wise, but it's come back 56-44. Obviously not too many clear-cut chances, that's for sure. There looks to be a danger in set pieces. Intercept from Lewis Potter, but Henderson's one-touch pass was straight into touch. Throw into Leeds, halfway inside the Brentford half, right-hand side. And I think they're going to leave this for Ethan Ampadu. A little bit closer to the 18-yard box than I first thought. Daniel Farker has got things to say. Don't know if he spotted anything, but certainly encouragement now. Plenty of height and physicality in this Leeds side. And Ethan Ampadu has certainly got a reasonable long throw into the box. Flicked on, it's up in the air. Nemec got a nudge in the back, but not enough of one. Sharda's just trying to put him off. He has forced Nemec wide, out of the area now. Now on the touchline. He needed an option. Eventually it came through Stack. Aronson, Bogle, 30 yards out. Lines up a shot, but blocked on the edge of the box. Bogle's got the second ball. Thiago closes Bogle down, gets a challenge in. And it will just be another long throw for Leeds, should they wish to utilise it. Bogle's got a ball in his hand, but Ampadu wants to pick up one off the tee. I think Bogle wanted to take a quick one there, but Ampadu just letting him know that the long throw set piece is coming up. 0-0, just about half an hour gone. Long throw for Leeds, just enjoying a little spell at the moment. Long throw headed away by Henderson, held further downfield, will be recollected by Bogle on the halfway line. Quickly out to Ampadu. Everybody's back at the moment for Brentford. As 30 minutes ticks over at Elland Road. Independent, unofficial off-tube stereo commentary. And Leeds just in the ascendancy in what is a 0-0 draw so far. Aronson back to Bogle. Semi-diagonal out towards the left-hand side, and it was flicked on by Calvert-Lewin, but not enough. Straight behind, goal kick to Brentford. Thumbs up from Calvert-Lewin. It's difficult because I think he was trying to find a teammate, but it was relatively close to the goal line, and so to try and control the way to the header, obviously if he's going to go for the goal itself, he might put a bit more power on it, but I think he tried to take something off it as he tried to play in a teammate. Clearance from Stack is blocked inadvertently back towards the edge of his own box, but Biol wins it there from Sharda, and now Aronson's picked it up. That's way too long. That'll be through to Kelleher, who immediately underarms it out to the left-hand side. Collins forward to Jensen, flicks on to Sharda, back to Jensen, up to Thiago. A layoff, a little 1-2, slightly overplayed. That's a better ball from Thiago. Out to Lewis Potter, who delivers a deep ball to the far post. Coyote nods it into a dangerous area, but Strout clears. Aronson tries to turn Vandenberg, can't. No foul either way, says the referee. There's a bit of a tangle in the end between those two. Nobody was complaining. Eventually it's won back though by Henderson. And for a moment Lewis Potter beat Bogle, but Bogle, like a terrier, won it back. Although Aronson's just been caught in possession again, only for Yarmulke to be dispossessed. Challenger from Collins has actually ricocheted the ball towards Calvert-Lewin, but Pinnock gets there first. Brentford have it back, and Pinnock receives off Kelleher. Henderson's dropped deep again, and the pace just slows down a little bit. Gets a bit frantic from time to time. Good to see. Obviously chances few and far between in the 32 minutes of action so far. Neither keeper's been seriously tested. The ball forward from Lewis Potter is not a good one. It's behind Thiago, won't reach Sharda. and Leeds have it back. Rodon inside to Ampadu. Strout crossing the halfway line. Nemetjia's come deep. Justin's to his outside. Nemetjia still has it. 25 yards out now. Ampadu to Strout. He's going to cross, deflected down and picked up by Henderson, who digs it forward to Schade, who will get there ahead of Biol, but he's got no support whatsoever other than Thiago. Enough white shirts back there. He's trying to reel Hollywood past there. Schade, he's done well, I suppose, to get a throw in, because one target and lots of defenders, it was always going to be tough to find that target. He has won his side a throw in. That cross from Strauch might just have brushed the arm of Jensen jumping in front of him, but the arm was across the stomach, so it certainly wasn't making himself bigger. Don't know if VAR's still having a look, but play is continuing as Kelleher, closed down by Calvert-Lewin, has to get rid. I think a couple of Brentford players are offside, so they're not going to challenge Biol, and Leeds have possession back with 34 minutes just about ticking over. 0-0 at Elland Road. 4 shots to 2 in Leeds' favour, 1 on target apiece. 54-46 the possession stats. Leeds have it on the halfway line. Aronson, nice footwork getting around Collins, but the pass is offloaded to Strauch. He'll inject a bit of pace into it as he strides into enemy territory, feeding it out to Justin on the left-hand side, who tries to go around the Kiyode. The cross, though, is easily dealt with. And now Kiyode just smashes it downfield. Schade won't give chase. There's an arm up because Henderson's down, but he's down near the halfway line. Leeds are playing on, as they've got every right to, as Nemetjia goes for goal, and it's saved by Keller. Diving to his right. Good strike from Nemetjia, and Kelleher has thrown it out so that Henderson can get a bit of treatment. He looks to be in a bit of pain. Might be a right leg issue, whether it's the knee or the ankle, not sure. A decent strike from Nemetjia, must be at least 30 yards out. It was dipping on Kelleher, probably just dipping right at his feet. That sort of bounce wasn't quite on the full, so that could have been awkward, but Kelleher, safe pair of hands, everything behind it. Bit of treatment being given to Henderson. At the moment, I don't know whether trying to tackle Aronson accidentally trod on his foot. It's not wholly obvious how it was injured. Could be his fault, not 100%. Maybe he twisted something too. Certainly no one's really at fault. Certainly not a foul from Aronson. He had the ball. He's still sat down at the moment. It's Jordan Henderson. Coming up to 36 minutes gone. And no breakthrough as yet. Just in case you were unaware, earlier results today. Brighton beat Liverpool 2-1. Fulham saw off Burnley 3-1. And Everton thrashed Chelsea 3-0. What that means is Brentford, of course, can close right up in the race for Champions League football. They'd go level on 6th place Chelsea if they were to win. They would be behind the Blues on a far inferior goal difference. They'd only be a point behind Liverpool. 3 behind Villa, who of course play tomorrow. Leeds have given Brentford the ball back from the throw-in. Obviously Chelsea's goal difference took a hit, but it's still plus 15. And Brentford's current goal difference is plus 4. Of course, Leeds don't care about that talk at the moment. They need the points for a very different reason. They're 3 above the drop zone, and they are on the attack. Aronson wanted a free kick. He's not going to get it. It's worked back by Brentford to Kelleher. Out to Collins, up towards the halfway line. Rodon stepped in, finds Calvert-Lewin as well. And now Bogle, halfway inside the Brentford half. Back inside to Rodon. Bogle nearer the touchline. Time and space, not closed down. 1-2 with Ampadu. Back with Bogle, back to Ampadu. Rodon's there as well. Another 1-2. Ampadu and Rodon. Ampadu now to Bogle. These three are playing their own little game. That's a good ball into Aronson, who tries to turn and get the cross in. Turned away though by Vandenberg. Schade goes down under pressure from Strauch, and that's a yellow card. Given to Pascal Strauch. He looks frustrated. And Schade in danger again. The ball is played up to Schade. He knocked it past Strauch. I mean, I think Strauch's kind of running alongside. Whether that's a yellow card offence is certainly open to question. Not in Jared Gillett's eyes. He thinks yes. Henderson is back on the field, by the way, having had to depart. It's not as if Schade was through on goal. I know he's getting beyond a defender there, but there's enough white shirted cover. Would have been viewed as cynical. First man in the book, Pascal Strauch. Keller launches the free kick into the box, headed away by Beale. Lewis Potter tries again. Heads go up, and it's a header won by Pinnock up from the back. I don't think he's going for goal. I think he's trying to nod it down to Thiago, but bounces into Darlow's hands. And Leeds back in possession. With around about 6 minutes of the 45 remaining, but we've just had that injury stoppage for Henderson, so it might be a couple of minutes added on. Leeds with Strauch have it in their own half. He's looking for an option. He still has it. Goes down the channel for Calvert-Lewin, but that looks over hit. Pinnock, I think, had covered the run of Calvert-Lewin anyway, but it was a heavy pass and through to Keller. Collins has it. He's under a little bit of pressure now. Closed down by Nemecha. Hurried clearance. Stack wins the header. Finds Aronson as well. Back to Stack. Good starting point for Leeds. Out to the left-hand side. Justin providing the width. Aronson's gone across. Back to Strauch though. And now Beale in the centre circle. Over to the right-hand side and Bogle. Back to Beale. Schade will put semi-press on. So Darlow an option. Found. Feeding it over to the left-hand side. Now Justin. Forward towards Nemecha goes down under pressure from Vandenberg. It's near the halfway line. It is a free kick, I believe, to Leeds. Jared Gillett, real close up here. Difficult to see where the ball is. Into the final 5 minutes of the first half. First half regulation time, at least. As I say, there might be a couple of minutes added on. Leeds, Nemecha has it halfway inside the Brentford half. Plenty of red and white shirts behind. Space on the left-hand side though. Stack gets to the byline, crosses to the far post. It's going to bounce all the way through to Bogle, who smashes it into the back of Jensen. Ricochets back towards the halfway line, where Beale collects under no pressure. Finds Ampadu, turns, Leeds building up ahead of steam. Ampadu collects off Justin, who's very in-field at the moment. Strauch, Ampadu turns, thought about a shot, closed down by Henderson. Has to offload towards the halfway line. Beale in the centre circle now. Brentford survived relatively comfortably there. Ball aimed towards Justin down the Leeds left. Might have come off, no, offside given against Justin. Yeah, just got a fraction too soon, or the pass didn't come early enough. Could look at it either way, of course. Free kick to Brentford. Yeah, he's provided plenty of width down the left-hand side. And you have to say Bogle has down the right as well for Leeds. Thiago certainly started very lively, very industrious, putting himself all over the place. Bogle might be in trouble. He's kind of trying to tackle Lewis Potter from behind. Of course, that's always risky, particularly when you go to ground. He immediately was trying to, pat Lewis Potter on the back as though he didn't mean any damage, but it's a bit clumsy. Always going to ground from behind is just asking for trouble. Yellow card given to Jayden Bogle. I always wonder the virtue of making those challenges when it's on the halfway line. Lewis Potter's facing his own goal. Why does Bogle need to slide in? He's back on his feet. Free kick to Brentford. Jensen stood over it. It's on the halfway line. And he's aimed it down the left for Lewis Potter, who's one-on-one with Aronson at the moment. He's got away from Aronson momentarily, and then he's trying to take him on again. Oh, he tried a trick which didn't work, and now Aronson's going to shepherd that behind. Goal kick to Leeds. Good defending in the end from Aronson. Lewis Potter's trick didn't quite work. He seems reluctant to get the cross in. He's had numerous opportunities to put a ball in, but doesn't seem to want to do it. Lewis Potter. Aronson working hard for his team. That's a good layoff from Nemetcha, finding Justin. Leeds have possession inside the Brentford half, going into the last 90 seconds of the opening 45. They've worked the ball back into their own half, and then Beale has to go and run after it after a poor first touch. Darlow clears downfield. Collins beats Aronson in the air, and then Collins gets to a loose ball aimed out toward Bogle, so it's a throw into Leeds, but it's halfway inside their own half. A little over a minute to go. That's of normal time of the first period. Might get a couple of minutes of stoppage time, I reckon. Rodon goes down the line with the throw-in. Collins wins a header back into the Leeds half. Beale can only find Lewis Potter, who tried to just tease it down the line for Jensen. Badu in the way, blocks it into touch. Throw in to Brentford, nearer the halfway line. The 18-yard box, so no need to go long. They've gone back to Collins. Pinnock out to the right, and Kiyode. Henderson switches play back over to the left. It's in the Bees half. Henderson off Collins again, now out to the right-hand side. Played up to the feet of Sharda, who offloads to Henderson. He tried a first-time ball, it's blocked back into the Brentford half. Picked up, though, by Yarmulke. Vandenberg, Pinnock, edge of his own box. Collins goes down the line, hoping to find Jensen. Bogle in the way. Potential for a Leeds counter. Played down the channel. Aronson trying to get there ahead of Collins. He's gone behind. Who did it come off last? Aronson, I think. It's going to be a goal kick. Goal kick to Brentford. 4 minutes of stoppage time. A little bit more than I thought. We're into that now. 4 minutes of stoppage time to be played, but we've had 30 seconds or so. Close to 60% possession in Leeds' favour. 6 shots to 3, 2 on target each. Neither keeper's been truly worked though. Maybe the best save Keller has gathered of Nemetch's 25-30 yarder. Yeah, because that was awkward. Could have been embarrassing. Kiyode closed down, tackled into touch, throw in to Brentford. Just inside the Leeds half. Kiyode, excuse me. Kiyode will throw back into his own half to Vandenberg. Brentford start again. Their threat has dissipated the longer the half's gone on, in fairness to Brentford and Leeds. That's a good ball down the channel. Thiago's a willing runner. Gets there, drills across. Partially blocked by Stack, only to Kiyode. Again, he could have crossed, chose not to. It's now with Henderson in a central position. He'll float it to the far post. Lewis Potter trying to get there ahead of Bogle. Might have got the touch, but then Thiago looked as though he's in an offside position. And now a potential break on for Leeds. Calvert-Lewin thought he'd had a foul. Referee trying to play the advantage, and Leeds didn't quite play it well enough. Jensen dinks it forward to Henderson. Now Sharda looks for an early ball downfield. Thiago trying to get him behind. The pass isn't good enough though. And Justin, facing his own goal, plays it back to Darlow. We're halfway through the 4 minutes of stoppage time. That's a minimum, of course. And it's Stack bringing it forward. for Leeds. Feeding out to the left-hand side. Nemetja with a low ball in. Blocked by Vandenberg. Nemetja's trying to go around the outside. Under pressure from Coyote. Can't dig out the cross. Nemetja's got his arms in the air. I presume he's asking for a penalty. It's going to be a goal kick. Jared Gillett hasn't given a penalty. I don't think that's going to be a penalty. Coyote's kind of leaning into Nemetja, nothing more, putting him off the cross, and Nemetja trying to cross at 90 degrees, of course lost his balance. I don't think he's ever going to get a penalty, but I have been wrong before, as 3 minutes of stoppage time completed. Ball down the channel for Thiago to chase. He's got round his man, low ball in, Shana didn't get enough of the flick. He props got the touch ahead of Beal, but it's not much of a touch, and Leeds try and counter. That's an early ball up to Calvert-Lewin, but Pinnock gets a challenge in, out of play, throw in to Leeds. 15-20 yards or so inside the Brentford half, left-hand side. We've got about 30 seconds of the 4 minutes of stoppage time left. And it's taken backwards towards Ampadu. Didn't appear to be in a rush. Ball played up towards Calvert-Lewin. His flick only to Jensen, who goes long and early, trying to get Schade in behind. Beal dropped off and is able to head it forwards as Ward Strout. Schade stops Strout getting away. Tackle into touch. Throw into Leeds inside their own half. Matter of seconds left, unless the referee has found more time to add on in the 4 minutes. Justin has got no, he's not got enough time to take the throw in. That is the half-time whistle at the break. Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. Half time at Elland Road. It's Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. In truth, two sides cancelling each other out. Leeds shaded possession with 55% of 45. Outshot Brentford 64, but the reality is there weren't too many clear-cut chances. Thiago dragged wide from the D, and Pinnock had a header save from a set piece. Nemetja's strike from 25 yards out looked the most dangerous, but that was well gathered by Keller. Two sides cancelling each other out at the break. Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. Half time at Elland Road. It's Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. In truth, two sides cancelling each other out. Leeds shaded possession with 55% of 45. Outshot Brentford 64, but the reality is there weren't too many clear-cut chances. Thiago dragged wide from the D, and Pinnock had a header save from a set piece. Nemetja's strike from 25 yards out looked the most dangerous, but that was well gathered by Keller. Two sides cancelling each other out at the break. Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. Half time at Elland Road. It's Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. In truth, two sides cancelling each other out. Leeds shaded possession with 55% of 45. Outshot Brentford 64, but the reality is there weren't too many clear-cut chances. Thiago dragged wide from the D, and Pinnock had a header save from a set piece. Nemetja's strike from 25 yards out looked the most dangerous, but that was well gathered by Keller. Two sides cancelling each other out at the break. Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. Half time at Elland Road. It's Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. In truth, two sides cancelling each other out. Leeds shaded possession with 55% of 45. Outshot Brentford 64, but the reality is there weren't too many clear-cut chances. Thiago dragged wide from the D, and Pinnock had a header save from a set piece. Nemetja's strike from 25 yards out looked the most dangerous, but that was well gathered by Keller. Two sides cancelling each other out at the break. Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. Half time at Elland Road. It's Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. In truth, two sides cancelling each other out. Leeds shaded possession with 55% of 45. Outshot Brentford 64, but the reality is there weren't too many clear-cut chances. Thiago dragged wide from the D, and Pinnock had a header save from a set piece. Nemetja's strike from 25 yards out looked the most dangerous, but that was well gathered by Keller. Two sides cancelling each other out at the break. Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. Half time at Elland Road, it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. In truth, two sides cancelling each other out. Leeds shaded possession with 55% of 45. Outshot Brentford 64, but the reality is there weren't too many clear-cut chances. Thiago dragged wide from the D and Pinnock had a header save from a set piece. Nemetja's strike from 25 yards out looked the most dangerous, but that was well gathered by Keller. Two sides cancelling each other out at the break. Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. Half time at Elland Road, it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. In truth, two sides cancelling each other out. Leeds shaded possession with 55% of 45. Outshot Brentford 64, but the reality is there weren't too many clear-cut chances. Thiago dragged wide from the D and Pinnock had a header save from a set piece. Nemetja's strike from 25 yards out looked the most dangerous, but that was well gathered by Keller. Two sides cancelling each other out at the break. Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. Half time at Elland Road, it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. In truth, two sides cancelling each other out. Leeds shaded possession with 55% of 45. Outshot Brentford 64, but the reality is there weren't too many clear-cut chances. Thiago dragged wide from the D and Pinnock had a header save from a set piece. Nemetja's strike from 25 yards out looked the most dangerous, but that was well gathered by Keller. Two sides cancelling each other out at the break. Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. Half time at Elland Road, it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. In truth, two sides cancelling each other out. Leeds shaded possession with 55% of 45. Outshot Brentford 64, but the reality is there weren't too many clear-cut chances. Thiago dragged wide from the D and Pinnock had a header save from a set piece. Nemetja's strike from 25 yards out looked the most dangerous, but that was well gathered by Keller. Two sides cancelling each other out at the break. Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. Half time at Elland Road, it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. In truth, two sides cancelling each other out. Leeds shaded possession with 55% of 45. Outshot Brentford 64, but the reality is there weren't too many clear-cut chances. Thiago dragged wide from the D and Pinnock had a header save from a set piece. Nemetja's strike from 25 yards out looked the most dangerous, but that was well gathered by Keller. Two sides cancelling each other out at the break. Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. Half time at Elland Road, it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. In truth, two sides cancelling each other out. Leeds shaded possession with 55% of 45. Outshot Brentford 64, but the reality is there weren't too many clear-cut chances. Thiago dragged wide from the D and Pinnock had a header save from a set piece. Nemetja's strike from 25 yards out looked the most dangerous, but that was well gathered by Keller. Two sides cancelling each other out at the break. Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. Half time at Elland Road, it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. In truth, two sides cancelling each other out. Leeds shaded possession with 55% of 45. Outshot Brentford 64, but the reality is there weren't too many clear-cut chances. Thiago dragged wide from the D and Pinnock had a header save from a set piece. Nemetja's strike from 25 yards out looked the most dangerous, but that was well gathered by Keller. Two sides cancelling each other out at the break. Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. Half time at Elland Road, it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. In truth, two sides cancelling each other out. Leeds shaded possession with 55% of 45. Outshot Brentford 64, but the reality is there weren't too many clear-cut chances. Thiago dragged wide from the D and Pinnock had a header save from a set piece. Nemetja's strike from 25 yards out looked the most dangerous, but that was well gathered by Keller. Two sides cancelling each other out at the break. Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. Half time at Elland Road, it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. In truth, two sides cancelling each other out. Leeds shaded possession with 55% of 45. Outshot Brentford 64, but the reality is there weren't too many clear-cut chances. Thiago dragged wide from the D and Pinnock had a header save from a set piece. Nemetja's strike from 25 yards out looked the most dangerous, but that was well gathered by Keller. Two sides cancelling each other out at the break. Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. Half time at Elland Road, it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. In truth, two sides cancelling each other out. Leeds shaded possession with 55% of 45. Outshot Brentford 64, but the reality is there weren't too many clear-cut chances. Thiago dragged wide from the D and Pinnock had a header save from a set piece. Nemetja's strike from 25 yards out looked the most dangerous, but that was well gathered by Keller. Two sides cancelling each other out at the break. Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. Half time at Elland Road, it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. In truth, two sides cancelling each other out. Leeds shaded possession with 55% to 45. Outshot Brentford 64, but the reality is there weren't too many clear-cut chances. Thiago dragged wide from the D and Pinnock and a header save from a set piece. Nemetja's strike from 25 yards out looked the most dangerous, but that was well gathered by Keller. Two sides cancelling each other out at the break. Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. Half time at Elland Road, it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. In truth, two sides cancelling each other out. Leeds shaded possession with 55% to 45. Outshot Brentford 64, but the reality is there weren't too many clear-cut chances. Thiago dragged wide from the D and Pinnock and a header save from a set piece. Nemetja's strike from 25 yards out looked the most dangerous, but that was well gathered by Keller. Two sides cancelling each other out at the break. Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. Half time at Elland Road, it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. In truth, two sides cancelling each other out. Leeds shaded possession with 55% to 45. Outshot Brentford 64, but the reality is there weren't too many clear-cut chances. Thiago dragged wide from the D and Pinnock and a header save from a set piece. Nemetja's strike from 25 yards out looked the most dangerous, but that was well gathered by Keller. Two sides cancelling each other out at the break. Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. Half time at Elland Road, it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. In truth, two sides cancelling each other out. Leeds shaded possession with 55% to 45. Outshot Brentford 64, but the reality is there weren't too many clear-cut chances. Thiago dragged wide from the D and Pinnock and a header save from a set piece. Nemetja's strike from 25 yards out looked the most dangerous, but that was well gathered by Keller. Two sides cancelling each other out at the break. Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. Half time at Elland Road, it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. In truth, two sides cancelling each other out. Leeds shaded possession with 55% to 45. Outshot Brentford 64, but the reality is there weren't too many clear-cut chances. Thiago dragged wide from the D and Pinnock and a header save from a set piece. Nemetja's strike from 25 yards out looked the most dangerous, but that was well gathered by Keller. Two sides cancelling each other out at the break. Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. Half time at Elland Road, it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. In truth, two sides cancelling each other out. Leeds shaded possession with 55% to 45. Outshot Brentford 64, but the reality is there weren't too many clear-cut chances. Thiago dragged wide from the D and Pinnock and a header save from a set piece. Nemetja's strike from 25 yards out looked the most dangerous, but that was well gathered by Keller. Two sides cancelling each other out at the break. Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. Half time at Elland Road, it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. In truth, two sides cancelling each other out. Leeds shaded possession with 55% to 45. Outshot Brentford 64, but the reality is there weren't too many clear-cut chances. Thiago dragged wide from the D and Pinnock and a header save from a set piece. Nemetja's strike from 25 yards out looked the most dangerous, but that was well gathered by Keller. Two sides cancelling each other out at the break. Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. Half time at Elland Road, it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. In truth, two sides cancelling each other out. Leeds shaded possession with 55% to 45. Outshot Brentford 64, but the reality is there weren't too many clear-cut chances. Thiago dragged wide from the D and Pinnock and a header save from a set piece. Nemetja's strike from 25 yards out looked the most dangerous, but that was well gathered by Keller. Two sides cancelling each other out at the break. Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. Half time at Elland Road, it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. In truth, two sides cancelling each other out. Leeds shaded possession with 55% to 45. Outshot Brentford 64, but the reality is there weren't too many clear-cut chances. Thiago dragged wide from the D and Pinnock and a header save from a set piece. Nemetja's strike from 25 yards out looked the most dangerous, but that was well gathered by Keller. Two sides cancelling each other out at the break. Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. Half time at Elland Road, it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. In truth, two sides cancelling each other out. Leeds shaded possession with 55% to 45. Outshot Brentford 64, but the reality is there weren't too many clear-cut chances. Thiago dragged wide from the D and Pinnock and a header save from a set piece. Nemetja's strike from 25 yards out looked the most dangerous, but that was well gathered by Keller. Two sides cancelling each other out at the break. Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. Half time at Elland Road, it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. In truth, two sides cancelling each other out. Leeds shaded possession with 55% to 45. Outshot Brentford 64, but the reality is there weren't too many clear-cut chances. Thiago dragged wide from the D, and Pinnock had a header save from a set piece. Nemetja's strike from 25 yards out looked the most dangerous, but that was well gathered by Keller. Two sides cancelling each other out at the break. Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. Half time at Elland Road, it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. In truth, two sides cancelling each other out. Leeds shaded possession with 55% to 45. Outshot Brentford 64, but the reality is there weren't too many clear-cut chances. Thiago dragged wide from the D, and Pinnock had a header save from a set piece. Nemetja's strike from 25 yards out looked the most dangerous, but that was well gathered by Keller. Two sides cancelling each other out at the break. Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. Half time at Elland Road, it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. In truth, two sides cancelling each other out. Leeds shaded possession with 55% to 45. Outshot Brentford 64, but the reality is there weren't too many clear-cut chances. Thiago dragged wide from the D, and Pinnock had a header save from a set piece. Nemetja's strike from 25 yards out looked the most dangerous, but that was well gathered by Keller. Two sides cancelling each other out at the break. Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. Half time at Elland Road, it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. In truth, two sides cancelling each other out. Leeds shaded possession with 55% to 45. Outshot Brentford 64, but the reality is there weren't too many clear-cut chances. Thiago dragged wide from the D, and Pinnock had a header save from a set piece. Nemetja's strike from 25 yards out looked the most dangerous, but that was well gathered by Keller. Two sides cancelling each other out at the break. Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. Half time at Elland Road, it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. In truth, two sides cancelling each other out. Leeds shaded possession with 55% to 45. Outshot Brentford 64, but the reality is there weren't too many clear-cut chances. Thiago dragged wide from the D, and Pinnock had a header save from a set piece. Nemetja's strike from 25 yards out looked the most dangerous, but that was well gathered by Keller. Two sides cancelling each other out at the break. Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. Half time at Elland Road, it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. In truth, two sides cancelling each other out. Leeds shaded possession with 55% to 45. Outshot Brentford 64, but the reality is there weren't too many clear-cut chances. Thiago dragged wide from the D, and Pinnock had a header save from a set piece. Nemetja's strike from 25 yards out looked the most dangerous, but that was well gathered by Keller. Two sides cancelling each other out at the break. Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. Half time at Elland Road, it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. In truth, two sides cancelling each other out. Leeds shaded possession with 55% to 45. Outshot Brentford 64, but the reality is there weren't too many clear-cut chances. Thiago dragged wide from the D, and Pinnock had a header save from a set piece. Nemetja's strike from 25 yards out looked the most dangerous, but that was well gathered by Keller. Two sides cancelling each other out at the break. Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. Half time at Elland Road, it's Leeds United 0, Brentford. A warm welcome back to our coverage of the action taking place at Elland Road. Goalless at the break, Leeds United versus Brentford. Not too many clear-cut chances, to be honest. Doesn't mean that there won't be in the second half. No changes at the interval. Perhaps both sides are happy with what they have. Obviously, Leeds would love to get a goal and ease their pressure. Love to get 3 points, but of course one is better than none. We'll see how committed they are to the three in this second half. They're on the attack straight away down the right-hand side. Bogle with the cross in. It's brought down by Justin. Left-footed shot comes in. It lacked conviction from Stack, to be honest. But it was blocked away and cleared up to the halfway line. After a bit of head tennis, it's fallen at the feet of the Bees. And it's with Collins, Lewis Potter, early towards Thiago, beaten in the air, but he will get the second ball, and he's fed it down to the left-hand side. Jensen's still going, he's slightly miscontrolled it, he's drilled it from a tight angle into the side netting. That's a little bit greedy. He never quite got it under control, and when he felt he had the opportunity to shoot, he's pretty much on the goal line. So he's just trying to hammer it hard. His first touch didn't take it out from under his feet enough, and it ricocheted off his thigh. Then it's getting away from him. As I say, by the time he's shooting, he's pretty much on the goal line, and he's just hit it hard, but hard into the side netting. And yet again, it's Thiago is just an absolute nuisance for the Leeds back line. Doesn't necessarily win the first header, but he's certainly threatening the first, second, third headers. Fuller running. As he'll again chase another lost cause, and Beale takes no chances, heads into touch. Brentford throw halfway inside the Leeds half, left hand side. Yeah, Jensen, if he'd have controlled it better, he can probably square it. Before he obviously didn't control it better, and then was running out of time and options, so smashed it goalwards. Didn't hit the target. Not easy to do that when the angle is so tight. Brentford on the attack again down the left-hand side. Sharda's gone down, and he's clutching his left shin. He didn't have the ball. Never quite know how serious injuries are. Of course, Brentford are asking questions of Jared Gillett. I don't know if it's Pascal Struijk, actually, who is on a yellow card. Having another look at a replay. It is Pascal Struijk, but to me that looks entirely accidental. It's almost a tangle of legs, if anything. Jared Gillett, obviously Leeds would argue is a soft second yellow for Goodmanson last week. Be a little bit cruel should they get another soft red card. As I say, I thought it was accidental. Whether that counts for anything these days, I don't know. Into the 49th minute, long throw chance for Brentford. Cody's got a cross from the right to the left to take it. And it's in towards that near post, and it's headed away by Leeds. It's going to go behind. And I think Bogle's in a way a little bit lucky in the sense that he really sprinted after it, suggesting that it came off a Leeds player last, but then put his hand up and got the decision. So it's a goal kick to Leeds. And it shouldn't be. It should be a corner kick. And you'd wonder, I mean, how... But Bale's won the header and he's headed it behind. I don't understand. It's not even close to Pinnock. Maybe there was a suggestion that it was played into the back of Pinnock, but it wasn't. Anyway, no massive complaints from Brentford, to be fair. Throw in to Brentford on the halfway line, right hand side. Cody goes back into his own half. Van den Berg, Henderson. Launches it long. Thiago at the target, but way overcooked. That's going to bounce through to Darlow, and Leeds have possession back. Working it over to the right hand side. Rodon does well because he did slip. But back in field to Ampadu, now across the Justin. First time ball downfield. Pinnock is the one that inadvertently flicks it on. Partially cleared by Van den Berg, picked up by Aronson. Now Stack, infield to Ampadu. Leeds have got a starting point. Rodon finds Bogle on the touchline. Bogle inching forward, but then plays back to the halfway line. And it's with Beale. Ampadu's come alongside to try and start something going, feeding over to Rodon on the right, down the channel, headed up in the air by Rodon, by Calvert-Lewin rather, headed away by Van den Berg, but only to Stack. And now Struijk up in the attack, left edge of the area, finds Knight, back to Stack. Aronson, 25 yards out, drags it wide of the near post. I don't think Kelleher was overly worried. Fairly central position. Never quite on target. Probably lacked the power as well from that range. It's kind of gone side-footed. 51 minutes ticking over at Elland Road. Independent, unofficial off-tube studio commentary into the 52nd now. As Jensen has it for Brentford on the halfway line. Coyote forward to Thiago. Back to goal at the moment. He's trying to hold off would-be challenges. Coyote's ridden the challenge of Justin. Puts an early cross in. It's blocked by Struijk. Good defensive tackle from Stack. Holds them up at the moment. Brentford still have it. Into the box drives Yarmulke, but I don't think he quite knew what he was trying to do. And in the end, it's a poor Poor pass. He was trying to attempt the pass. Now Nemecha has it in the left-back position. He's the deepest Leeds player. Plays it safe to Darlow. Clears downfield, pushing the back of Aronson. Yarmulke, the guilty man. Free kick to Leeds just inside their own half. It remains 0-0 at Elland Road. Just the way that this game's gone. One goal might be enough. Reverse fixture. There's one apiece, of course. I think Leeds would like a goal. Obviously, haven't scored in the last 3. That's in the Premier League. Lost the last 2 at Elland Road as well by the odd goal. Sunderland and Manchester City, the victors in those 2 games. A little bit unfortunate, as I say, against Crystal Palace last week. Of course, I mean, they're not unfortunate they missed a penalty, but there will be plenty who think the yellow card, the second yellow card, which led to a red, was possibly not one. And obviously Leeds fans will. Maybe even Crystal Palace would sympathise. Throw into Leeds on the halfway line, left-hand side. 53 minutes ticking over. Knight's trying to steal a couple more. Justin's trying to steal a couple more yards. He's invited back by the officials. He's going to go down the line. Headed up in the air by Nemecha. Totally misjudged by Vandenberg and Calvert-Lewin. Eventually falls at the feet of Coyote, who just plays it downfield. Thiago got a chest on it, and it is kept in by Yarmulke. And now Henderson's got over the top, trying to get Sharda in behind. Again, the pass a little bit too heavy. Bounces through to Darlow. Leeds back in possession. Ampadu approaching the halfway line. Rodon in the nominal right-back position. He does get forward, Rodon. Helps create that space for Bogle. Bogle's attempted, the ball slipped down the channel, is partially blocked. Brentford have it back, but they are under pressure as they try and clear their lines. Collins' ball downfield hits the back of Aronson. Lewis Potter miscontrols, throwing Leeds halfway inside the Brentford half. Ampadu might go long again. 54 minutes ticking over, still 0-0. Beal and Strout up from the back. Ampadu do his best from this long throw. It's not a bad one. Headed up in the air, might fall. No, Pinnock took charge to the edge of the box. Thiago heads it away. Volley comes in from Justin. Keller has he kept it in. Strout was closing him down, but it is collected by Kelleher, and they did keep it in play as well. Not a bad strike, just from the edge of the box. They just didn't get through a crowd of players. Coyote has it on the right-hand side. Showed a bit too much to Justin, and Leeds have won it back. Ampadu's lining up a shot, drilled effort, and it's straight at Kelleher, who showed a very safe pair of hands. Decent strike, just too much down the middle of the goal from Ampadu. And looking at a replay, just as he's pulling the trigger, his left foot was giving way. He's done well to hit the target, but a little bit of a spell for the home side. Again, the shots are from distance. That's a couple of efforts now from range. Aronson and Ampadu. Cross in from the Brentford left, easily cleared by Beal up towards the halfway line. Henderson loses out. Rodon helps it forward, out to the left-hand side. Where Aronson beats Coyote to the ball. He's now put under pressure by Sharda, and Sharda suggesting that he was only leaning on him. The referee happy to give a free kick, nothing more. Yeah, it's frustrating. It happens both ways though. Players go to ground, and it's frustrating when the referee gives a free kick sometimes. I can imagine. Leeds back in possession in their own half, just about. Beal out to Rodon, right on the touchline. He's got Bogle well ahead of him. Aronson makes the run down the channel, but that pass again is overhit. Thumb up from Aronson, but very little chance of getting on the end of it. 57 minutes, just about ticking over at Elland Road. Independent, unofficial off-tube stereo commentary. So far, goalless. Reminder of the earlier scores. Brighton beat Liverpool 2-1. Then Fulham beat Burnley 3-1. And another win for the home team. Everton thrashed Chelsea 3-0. Thrashed. Obviously, there are worse scorelines than 3-0. But looks fairly convincing, particularly for a side that's going for Champions League, which Brentford might be thinking about if they keep digging out results and staying in the hunt. They're on the attack down the left-hand side. Schade, he's asked to do an awful lot. It's going to beat him to touch. Personally, I think the target was Lewis Potter, but it was way too far ahead of him. Schade gamefully tried to keep it alive. Well, that's been the story of Brentford's output in this second half so far. The passing has been a little bit strong. Leeds have had a bit more success. Their two efforts, though, of course, have been from range. Cody in the centre circle. Shows a bit of composure. Very central position for him at the moment. Collins plays it down the channel for Thiago, who plays it off the back of Beale, but I think Thiago's gone too early, and this will be a offside decision when the referee sees the flag in the air, which it is. Just about an hour gone. Perhaps just not quite there yet, but obviously maybe thoughts of a potential change or two. Try and get things going. Creativity for both sides really has been a problem. Options on the bench for Leeds. Bornau, Nonto, Gruev, James, Longstaff, Perry, Okafor, Pirro and Tanaka. Brentford, Bent, Donovan, Furo, McManus, Nelson, Ouattara, Shield, Stevenson and Valdimarsson. Leeds are on the attack down the left-hand side, and after turning Yarmouk, Nemecha, as he was looking to his right to see who was in the middle, it was a really heavy touch. Gets away from him, goes behind, goal kick to Brentford. Nemecha sees the funny side of it, but more frustrations from an attacking sense. And goal kick to Brentford is the net result. Keller just waits for his teammates to get downfield. Obviously a big game day in the Premier League tomorrow. Certainly as far as Leeds are concerned. They are on the attack, left-hand side. Stack bringing it forward. He's got goal side of Kyoto. He's still going. Pulls it back, and it's between Calvert-Lewin and Aronson. Partially cleared. Now Henderson is trying to bring it out. He's dispossessed by Ampadu. Ball played into the box. Nemecha tried to offload to Aronson to his left. He could have taken a touch and gone for goal. Thiago is trying to hold off Strauch and does. Plays it down the channel, but that's asking a lot of Schade. He'll try and show his pace to get round Beale. Beale gets there first, goes back to Darlow, who needs to clear early. And he sliced it a little bit. Schade and Beale are debating whether the last one was a foul. Beale's just asking the referee. He got a bit of a smirk from Schade in that one. Yeah, big games coming up tomorrow, certainly for a Leeds perspective. Of course, Villa, their result might entertain Brentford as things stand. Villa against West Ham at 2:15, as well as I guess you'd call a big 6-pointer, Tottenham Hotspur against Nottingham Forest. Of course, the day's early game, the time where Derby, Newcastle United against Sunderland. EFL Cup final is on tomorrow too. As Kyoto tries to keep it in down the right-hand side. Oh, he's done brilliantly. He's going into the box. He's put under pressure. I think the ball's got stuck under his feet. He's tried to get a cross in. It's not a good one. It's cleared. He's ended up on the deck. I don't think that's going to be a penalty. Again, the referee can't give a decision without somebody asking questions. Coyote's done really well. And I think Justin was taking one or two liberties. He kind of assumed that ball was going to go behind, as opposed to make sure that Cody doesn't go around him. Strauch it was who cleared in the end. It's not going to be a penalty. There's just an inquest every time a player goes to ground. It's quite ridiculous really. 62 minutes ticking over. Cody's got a long throw chance. Throw-in is a lot closer to the corner flag than others that have been thrown in there. Doesn't beat the man at the near post, although trying to get some real power behind his header. Justin has pretty much headed it back over Cody's head, so it's another throw-in from pretty much the same place. Cody might deliver a better one this time. He could have actually taken it on his chest and cleared a little bit better. This one is challenged near post. It looked to have come off Calvert-Lewin last. Oh, it's given as a goal kick. Pinnock can't believe it. It looked to have come off Calvert-Lewin last. But it is a goal kick, which Leeds have already taken. Although Ampadu is closed down by Jensen, has to go back to Beale. Again, Thiago being a nuisance, closing him down. He's actually wrong-footed, Thiago. And then place it down the channel. Just as he's doing that, Thiago leaned into him. Beale's gone to ground. This time he does get a free kick inside the Leeds half, right on the touchline. Brentford are going, if that's a foul, why wasn't the penalty given? Yeah, there's an inquest. Whichever team doesn't get a decision, they go and surround the referee. Into the 64th minute, goalless at Elland Road. Independent, unofficial off-tube stereo commentary. Clear-cut chances, there haven't been any. It's an intriguing contest, though. Both sides have had their moments and their spells of pressure, but the reality is neither keeper has been overly worked. Hence, it's goalless. Strout to Justin. He's got underneath his ball downfield. Yarmolic heads it forward, brought down by Sharda, but he slightly miscontrolled it. He's then tackled by Justin, and that's a good ball to Calvert-Lewin. It goes down under the challenge from Coyote. He doesn't get the free kick. And the ball is back with Vandenberg and Brentford, who facing his keeper, plays it to Kelleher, and it remains 0-0. Pinnock feeding it out to Collins, left-hand side, but they've just taken the pace out of the game a little bit at the moment. It can be fairly frantic. Ball hit long towards Thiago, headed back into the Brentford half, and it will fall kindly for Ampadu, although his pass is back to Strauch in his own half of the centre circle. Bit of space on the left for Justin, who gets it back from Nemetja. Justin still has space and he's bringing it forward. Brentford are pretty deep at the moment, all by Sharda behind the ball. Now Stack finds Ampadu out to Nemetja. One-on-one with Cody, onto his right foot, cross deep to the far post, straight into the hands of Kelleher. And Brentford have possession back. That's a bit loose from Jensen, although Henderson's then underhit a pass towards Sharda. I think he thought it was going to be a 50-50. Didn't quite commit to the pass. Leeds have it back on the halfway line. Beale's allowed to turn, finds Ampadu over to Rodon on the right touchline. Halfway inside the Brentford half, 0-0. Just about a quarter of the game left. Given the way that chances have been hard to come by, you'd think one goal might be enough. Might see some changes soon. Cross in from Rodon, deep towards the far post. It's up in the air, and two or three players didn't quite know where it was. Eventually it's gone the way of Brentford, as Vandenberg finds Yarmolic. His ball downfield is too far ahead of Sharda. It's going to come straight back with Ampadu, who plays it into Aronson, closed down well. Collins tackled though, ball into the box, and then there's a clearance. It did hit Collins. Leeds are appealing it hit the hand. Nobody's quite followed through with that. Brentford have possession with Jensen. He plays it back to Lewis Potter. He'll clear downfield, but Shalder doesn't even challenge in the air. Headed forward by Beale. Not collected well by Aronson. Thiago's found a ball to Henderson, who plays it over the top. Shot going through. He just skips away from him off the turf. Didn't know if a flag had gone up. And maybe Sharda was half second guessing himself whether it was offside. Maybe it just skipped away off the turf and he was never going to get there. I just thought he stuttered for a moment, not knowing if the flag would go up. Ampadu looks early towards Bogle, who goes down in the D, and he doesn't get the free kick. And now he's a little bit out of position as Jensen strides forward. Already in the Leeds half, he's still going, not necessarily at breakneck speed. Ball dipped through, and again Schade gets away from him. Darlow smothers at his feet, and again he's playing tight on the offside line. Don't know if a flag would have gone up. All of a sudden he's looking dangerous in behind that Leeds rear guard. The pass, as it has been all second half, has been a little bit too heavy. Leeds come forward again with Rodon. Out to Bogle. 25 yards out, finds Ampadu, closed down by Thiago. Thiago's won the ball. Ampadu went down very theatrically. Referee says no foul, then Thiago showed too much to Struijk. Struijk got a challenge in. He did have Schade peeling away to the right, but it was a heavy touch, got away from him. That allowed Struijk to make the challenge. And I think the referee's given a throw in to Leeds, and I'm not sure it should be. There's going to be a change though, a couple of changes. Aronson is one player going off for Leeds, and perhaps no surprise, Nemecha is the other. Okafor and Tanaka on. I mean, as I say, maybe Nemecha's strike. Kelleher's sat down at the moment. Maybe Nemecha strike in the first half. I mean, you don't necessarily expect players to score from that range, but he hit it hard and it dipped on the keeper. That's arguably the closest, the most dangerous shot we've had in the game. It was well gathered by Ravine Kelleher though. Another goalkeeping injury. Daniel Farke can't believe it. I do find it quite incredible that people complain in the sense that everybody does it. Kelleher appears to have a problem with his left hamstring, or his left thigh. Obviously, if you're Keith Andrews, you wouldn't necessarily want to make a goalkeeping change. Daniel Farke's having a word with the fourth official or the assistant referee. He does look very frustrated. He's back on his feet, is Kelleher. Whether he'll take goal kicks, etc. He's getting a bit of a jip from the crowd. Trying to stretch his left leg. That injury timed for the double lead substitution. Yeah, Farke, if looks could kill, somebody might be in trouble. He's still shaking his head. The play hasn't restarted yet. It's going to be a throw into Leeds. I think they're lucky to get the throw in, to be honest. I thought Struijk cleared it into touch. Rodon goes down the line. It's flicked on. It was to the benefit of Brentford, but Pennick didn't get the shout, and it's a poor clearance, but then Bogle trying to break down the right-hand side, can't quite control. Heavy touch, goes behind. Goal kick to the Bees with 19 minutes of the 90 remaining. Obviously, that injury is likely to add time on. And Kelleher's going to take the kick. More barracking from the crowd behind him. Obviously a double change just made by Leeds. Tanaka and Okafor on for Aronson and Nemecha. 0-0 A game of very few chances, certainly clear-cut chances. Beale heads away. Volleyed, smashed right up in the air by Ampadu to the halfway line. Can't quite control it, Calvert-Lewin. It's going to be returned. Thiago will give chase, but that's going to bounce harmlessly through to Darlow. And Leeds have possession back. In the second half, Brentford haven't quite got going. They looked a little bit more dangerous in the first. I don't want to over-egg it because, as I say, chances few and far between. 60-40 possession stats lead second half. 4 shots to 1, 1 on target to 0. That was the Ampadu strike from 25 yards or so. No big chances, no corners. First half more even in that regard. The danger has been, I suppose, a quick counter from Brentford, the space in behind. But the pass to Schade in particular hasn't been good enough. But it does look like it's a potential if they execute it a little bit better. But the truth is, Leeds are seeing more of the ball. They're asking more of the questions. They're just lacking that creative spark. Maybe Okafor and Tanaka can provide it. With time running out, 17 minutes to go. Curd under a little bit of pressure, finds Henderson. But he again is closed down, so all he can do is help it on as quickly as possible. Schade and Thiago give chase, but it's into touch. They have been quite poor in possession, Brentford, in the second half. Remains 0-0. Leeds not quite creating enough. But we'll only take a goal, I reckon, this late in the game. Not exactly sticking my neck on the chopping block with that one. Will we get a goal? Strout back to Darlow. Again, Thiago will give chase, so it's smashed downfield by Darlow. Poor header away from Collins. Has only found Bogle. Got space on the right-hand side. For Stack, drilled cross into the back of Lewis Potter, and this is a corner kick. First corner of the second period, and set pieces have looked a potential. Ampadu saying all sorts to anyone at the moment, including the referee. Don't know if he's got a particular problem with something. Delivery from the right, headed away by Vandenberg. Picked up by Tanaka, back out to Stack, took the corner. Back to Tanaka, infield. Justin's got a little bit of time and space, 25 yards out. Now Tanaka, he's going to pull the trigger, took a deflection and goes well wide of the post. Well wide of the post in the end. When it takes a deflection, you don't quite know how it's wrong-footing the keeper. It's independent, unofficial off-tube stereo commentary. It was actually on target and the deflection took it away. Another corner. 2 Leeds, this time on their left-hand side. Stack is going to take it in towards the near post. A glancing header, might have come off Strauch. It's gone wide of the far post. I think he's given another corner. The referee. Strauch is really frustrated. I don't know whether it's because he thinks somebody should have been far post. Looks as though the first touch was Strauch, the second Pinnock, hence another corner kick. Again, I don't think he's trying to score there. I think he's just trying to help it on. Another corner from the left, headed away by Thiago. Good depth this time, but it's picked up by Tanaka, who's going to turn, whips it back in, slightly miscued clearance up in the air. It's only passed and cleared back to the edge of the box, and then Justin with a heavy pass. I don't even know who Justin's aiming for. He's put it behind for a goal kick to Brentford. Yeah, Tanaka just on the half turn, whipped it in dangerously. Flicked on by Beale. It's over the head of Strauch. It's actually well dealt with by Brentford on this occasion. Schade it was back there. Goal kick to Brentford. Going to be a change made by the Bees though. And I think his threat has been there, Schade, but Brentford just haven't seen the ball. Ouattara is coming on in his place. bad substitute to bring on, of course, unless you want a Panenka penalty, as Brentford have got to get into the Leeds box. It's not quite one-way traffic, because Leeds are doing okay, apart from in and around the box. Obviously in the set pieces they've looked a little bit dangerous, but they're struggling to get clear-cut chances. Brentford have scored the second most goals after 76 plus minutes, 15 of them. Ball over the top and Thiago will give chase, but good sliding interception from Beale. Manages the fine touch as well, but that just means a long throw chance for the Bees. With a little over 12 minutes to go, 0-0. And Coyote, well, this time he takes it short. It's with Yarmouth, who is being closed down, and they haven't used that particularly well. That's good defending from Leeds, because Yarmouth didn't really know what to do with the ball. Hit long from deep. Headed away though by Rodon. Ouattara back to Lewis Potter. He's going to whip it in. Bounces through the 18-yard box, and Thiago couldn't quite control. He had his back to goal there. He's trying to hold off Strout. Forgot to see where the ball was. And that's going to go behind for a goal kick to Leeds. A little over 11 minutes to go. 0-0. But chance-wise in the second, well, chance is exaggerating it, because there have been long-range efforts in the main. 6 attempts to 1 in the second half for Leeds. That's in their advantage. 1 on target, the Ampadu 25-yarder. Goals have been a problem of late. Brentford just haven't got going in the second half, and that might be a concern for Keith Andrews, because of course they were bossing the game against Wolves on Monday, and then the second half happened and they surrendered a 2-goal lead. They've offered nothing in the second half so far. That's a poor clearance though from Beale, and now Leeds are under pressure, but that's a poor pass from Ouattara. He played it too early. Thiago wanted to get in behind Beale, and Ouattara played it to feet, but of course he vacated that area. Beale steps in, Leeds smash it downfield, ball's at the feet of Callagher, and there's a little over 10 minutes to go. And at neither side perhaps playing with the confidence at the moment. I think Leeds have done okay in the second half without necessarily threatening. They can get a set piece or two, build some pressure that way. Coyote lays it back to Henderson, plays it early towards Thiago. Stroud, oh, his clearance was blocked by a teammate. Beale takes over, cleared away. That could have been a fraction embarrassing. Stroud attempted volley away, blocked by Tanaka, back into the area. Leeds furious that a flag didn't go up, but it's a tight flag. You wouldn't give a flag an offside for that. Straight away. It's just too tight. Obviously, VAR might have changed it. Strout cleared it anyway. Another long throw chance. They've learnt from their error, in the sense that the last short one they took was an absolute waste. In towards the near post, flicked on by Vandenberg, but very easy claim from Darlow, actually coming forward to gather. No threat there. Is that a shot on target? Difficult to say. Those long throws haven't quite generated the tough chances for Brentford. Leeds back on the attack, albeit halfway inside the Brentford half, with Allblower and Ouattara behind the ball for Brentford. There was obviously that decent chance at the start of the half. Jensen getting in behind. Ball headed into the box by Leeds, but should be good for Coyote, who finds Jensen. Back to Vandenberg, and in turn offloads to Keller. Clears first time. As Calvert-Lewin put a bit of pressure on. Ampadu heads it forward, but then helped back by Vandenberg. Keller gathers. Brentford have possession back, but 8.5 minutes to go. It's difficult to work out the last time Brentford had a successful pass in the Leeds half. It's been a while, as it's hit long by Keller. Feels like a while. Strout jumping over Thiago. It's a free kick to Leeds. Kind of backing in there. Strout certainly landed awkwardly. Strout's got his eye on the ball. Landed on a bit of his shoulder, bit of his head actually. Double change coming up for Leeds. Oh, sorry, I beg your pardon. Ampadu is over on the touchline as well, getting some instructions from Daniel Farker. Looks as though Dan James is coming on for the home side. Strauch is back on his feet. Haven't seen the board go up yet, unless it's straight for Strauch. Oh, it is. It is. Strauch off. Strauch on the yellow card as well. James on. So you have to say that's certainly an attacking move made by Daniel Farker. 7.5 minutes to go. 0-0 at Elland Road. Free kick to Leeds on the halfway line, which Darlow is going to take and launch forward. Not quite one-way traffic in terms of chances, as I say. Leeds have had more, but Keller hasn't really been under that much pressure. There's just no outball for the Bees, and have Leeds given themselves enough time? Ball played down, grabbed. It's controlled by Ampadu. Was it with his hand? Yes, it was. Good first header one. Ampadu just busting his gut to get on the end of it. Just stretched out a little bit too far. At least Rodon won the first header. Found his international teammate. Yeah, definitely controlled it with his hand, his arm. And couldn't quite keep it within his reach anyway. Cody headed clear, but handball. 6 minutes to go plus stoppage time. 0-0. Certainly Leeds are looking the more likely of the two sides, but Keller hasn't had an awful lot to do. Lewis Potter, long and hopeful, and hope quickly extinguished. Always looked too deep. I think Brentford are happy for the point. Thrown out by Darlow towards Justin. Okafor tackled by Coyote. Throw in to Leeds, already taken. Tanaka into the centre circle, finds Ampadu. Bogle, James providing the width now, and he's going to build up a head of steam as he takes on Lewis Potter. Cross though, blocked by the Brentford defender, picked up by Bogle. Offloads back towards Rodon. Now out to James once again. Coming infield this time. Edge of the box, finds Stack. Now Bogle. Deep cross to the far post. Too deep. Goes behind for a goal kick to Brentford. 5 minutes remain at Elland Road. Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. And as I say, clear-cut chances, few and far between. There's no doubt that Leeds have been the better of the two sides in the second half, but without actually creating too many obvious chances. Shots are large. Look, they've caused a bit of panic from set pieces. No doubt about that. Brentford have just had enough bodies in the way when they've needed to. Daniel Farker furious that Keller took forever to get the goal kick back in play. He has, and Leeds pick it up on the halfway line. Streaming forward down the right-hand side. Bogle towards James, just had too much on it. Collins is tackled. He wins it, and right on the touchline, tackle comes in from James. Into touch, throw in to Brentford, albeit deep inside their own half. But time ticking for either side. It only takes one little moment. Another semi-stoppage from the throw-in. Daniel Farker will not be happy. Bogle wins the first header. Henderson heads away, headed forward by Ampadu. Back to Ampadu, will loft it down the channel. And this looks like it's got too much on it. No, it needs clearing. Calvert-Lewin stayed down, incidentally. He didn't get the free kick. It's a throw-in to Leeds, halfway inside the Brentford half, down their right. Ampadu will presumably go and take it. Yeah, Calvert-Lewin, it was arguably Stack who kind of jumped into Calvert-Lewin rather than the free kick. 3 minutes to go. Long throw chance for Leeds United. This isn't his best, Ampadu. That's a bit of a slip out of the hands, I feel. Cleared by Brentford up to the halfway line, and Bogle will offload all the way back to Darlow. Darlow's going to return it with a bit of interest, headed away by Collins. Henderson tries to turn away from Stack. Stack's done well, but he's harassed by Yarmouk. Feeds it out to Okafor, left-hand side. Infield, Ampadu, left of the D, 25 yards out. Tanaka, space on the right edge of the area for Dan James. Trying to take on Lewis Potter. Pulls it back, but straight to Jensen. Jensen trying to bring it clear. James has won it back. No foul on the Brentford man. James's cross, blocked behind, up in the air. I thought it was going behind, but it's punched away from underneath the crossbar by Kelleher, and it's gone out of play for a throw-in near the quarter flag. That looked a little bit unconvincing from Kelleher. I thought he could have claimed if it was still in play. I thought it was ballooning up over the bar, I have to admit. Long through chance for Leeds, this time on their left-hand side. Ampadu, of course, across to take it. Last one slipped a little bit. This one is a lot better. Headed away near post, though. Justin has to go and retrieve. Bogle in the centre circle. Back to Justin. Forces him a little bit wide. Dinks it forward. Beale the closest to it. Headed away by Coyote. Poor touch from Henderson. And it's picked up by Stack. Finds Justin. Infield to Tanaka. Closed down very well by Brentford, but there's always a white-shirted option. Now it's with Okafor on the left. Coming in onto his right foot. He goes for goal. The angle is not great. And maybe he shouldn't have gone near post. It's well gathered by Kelleher in the end. It is on target, but not particularly threatening. I think if he's going to go for goal, he's got to go far post. But they certainly worked a shooting option. They're just not clear-cut, these chances for Leeds. Here they come down the right-hand side. James has got in behind Lewis Potter. Right edge of the box, attempting to cross. He's charged down and then partially blocked by Coyote. I thought he took a chance with a back heel, but it's a back heel that finds Yarmouk, and he clears downfield. Picked up by Justin, though, who's leaving. Thiago is in his way, but then he slips over, and he slips over again. Coyote is able to clear, but then Ouattara slips. Doesn't even challenge for the ball as Beale picks it up, finds Bogle out to James on the right. Low cross in towards the near post. Cleared away by Collins. Driven downfield, not particularly far. By Lewis Potter, and then Lewis Potter's jumped into the back of James. That is going to be a free kick to Leeds. Bit of cramp for Lewis Potter as well. A little bit needless. It was a poor clearance. He had time and space, but he's hit it low. And then desperate to make amends, he's kind of jumped into the back of James. He has won the header, but he's barged James out of the way to win that header. Free kick spotted it. He's getting a bit treatment for cramp. Again, Farker doesn't like the time wasted to be interesting. Fly on the wall at the end. Stoppage in play for cramp. Free kick is right on the edge of the 18-yard box. The angle, as Leeds attack, the right edge. Look as though Stack is going to take it. You'd think the angle is too shallow to go for goal. You never quite know. Free kick is deep to the far post, and Thiago with a header. Rodon at his back. That's brave from Thiago. High fives from his teammates behind for a corner. Pressure still on Leeds. Pressure still on for Leeds. Into the second minute of 5 added on for stoppages. That might not be enough as Daniel Farker is concerned. Cross in from the left-hand side. It's into the edge of the 6-yard box. Headed away by Brentford. Thiago's then won the second header. It's picked up by Henderson, who teases it forward to Thiago, who's got nobody ahead of him. And so he has to check back. And then an attempted crossfield ball is utterly woeful from Yarmuluk. Gathered by James on the halfway line. Pirouettes to get away from the first challenge. And now Bogle's bringing it forward for the home side. Down the right-hand side, he's trying to take on two. He's bitten off more than he could chew there. And now Brentford try and counter. Ouattara, the 1-2 doesn't quite work. Leeds can't make it stick. But Lewis Potter gets himself in a tangle. He's dispossessed by Bogle. Out to James on the right edge of the area. Cross blocked by Collins. Picked up by Lewis Potter. And then that's another poor clearance. He's right-footed. Perhaps not confident to clear with his left. It was just a toe poke that has ricocheted off James, back off Lewis Potter, and a play for a throw-in. Long throw coming up from Ampadu. Brentford can't get out of their half. Can they see the job through? They have caused a little bit of panic. They've got plenty of height in the middle. Ampadu with the delivery towards the near post. Flicked up by Rodon. Shot towards goal is charged down at source. And goes all the way back up to the halfway line. Bogle's there. Goes back to Darlow, halfway outside his box, smashes it downfield straight away. First header won by Ampadu, and it comes back to him off Collins, so Leeds straight back on the attack. With James on the right-hand side, left-footed cross towards the far post, glancing header wide of the target in the end. Stack it was, no, Beale had stayed up. More cramp this time for Pinnock. I think the referee's given a corner. Must have been Pinnock who won the header. Yeah, it was. Good defending once again. Not a bad ball in from James. Just a fraction too high for Beale. But it's led to another set piece. And the corner is taken. Headed away to the edge of the box. James has picked it up though. Back onto his left foot. Crosses to the far post. Ouattara heads away. Henderson further downfield. Bit of a chase on for a Beale to get there. And he's forced to go back to Bogle inside his own half. And now it's with Darlow just outside his box. A minute of stoppage time remaining. 0-0. Brentford have done nothing in the second half as an attacking force. Certainly not since Jensen had that shot from a tight angle. They've defended manfully though. Leeds have just lacked that creative spark in and around the box so far. I say so far. It's in the 5th minute of added time. Throw in Brentford inside their own half. And Lewis Potter is going to go down the line. Bogle heads up in the air. Tanaka heads backwards, but he has found a teammate. Hit long by Rodon. Oh, it's given away. Ouattara is bringing it forward for Brentford, just in the central position. He's brought down outside the D by Ampadu, who's pointing at the ball. It's going to be a card, I believe, of some description. It's not going to be a red. I don't want to exaggerate, but Ampadu is adamant he got the ball. I don't know how he thinks that. Sliding in as well. He's pointing at the ball. He's going to the left, his left, and the ball went to his right. I don't think he's got much of the ball there. And this is surely going to be the last, unless the referee has not been happy with the added stoppages for the injuries that somehow Brentford have found. 2 cramp injuries. Leeds have conceded 8 goals in stoppage time. Brentford have scored 7. But this is into the 6th minute of added time. There was meant to be a minimum of 5. It's a free kick just outside the D, pretty central. Brentford are obviously going to take their time on this one. They're going to try and make this the last attack. Can they get a set piece executed? It looks as though Lewis Potter might be favourite to take it. Could go either side. By the time he strikes it, there'll be a full 6 minutes of stoppage time. Up steps Lewis Potter, and it's into the top of the wall. He went, obviously, the goalkeeper's side. As a Leeds player down, blocking the... he's back on his feet now, Beale. He has hit him in the head, but he can't stay down to stop the play and then say he doesn't need treatment. I don't agree with that, what Leeds are trying to say. If you don't need treatment, you shouldn't be down. And I think Jared Gillett is telling him to leave the field. I understand why players are doing it, but I think Jared Gillett's got it right. He's got to leave the field for 30 seconds because the play was stopped because of his head injury. It's going to be restarted with a drop ball Brentford inside the centre circle. It's back with Kelleher, who's going to hit it long out towards the left-hand side. Towering header won by Rodon. Into touch, throw in maybe 15 yards inside the Leeds half, left-hand side. Brentford into the 8th minute of stoppage time now. Coyote is going to try and see if his long throw works. I said it was going to be the last attack, didn't I? Beal is allowed back on, so he can defend this set piece at least. And then they've taken it short to Pinnock. Referee blows for full time. And Leeds, the better side in the second half, didn't create quite enough clear-cut chances. It's finished at Elland Road. Leeds United 0, Brentford 0.
Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy